Greetings and prepare for the amazing. What you will see is great racing. Competitors with skills from front to back. Watch as they go up and down the pack. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all. We're all here to be entertained. These drivers go hard and not restrained. Cheer for your favorite, you will not regret. The spectacle you watch, you will never forget. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all. GT45 covers it all. Please enjoy the racing at its best. Battles wage from first to last. The action is wall to wall. GT45 covers it all.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are in early, we're just waiting for our drivers to come into pit lane and our driver swaps to ensue here. So we are about, I want to say, 10 minutes from that point, and we'll finish off this race to the checkered flag with everybody. So I appreciate everybody for coming in, and I hope we're all ready to finish what should be a pretty good finish here at Brands Hatch. You're going to hear double feedback for a second. I was just double checking all the audios, making sure everything's moving and grooving. And everything's looking pretty good here, so we are ready to rock on our side. Absolutely, Miss Devious, you are correct. Hope you're doing well. Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, we'll break it down here. We're here on behalf of the International Racing Organization. This is not live on their channel this weekend due to technical difficulties within the production truck at the racetrack. Here we had to go with Plan B, so the content is just coming from the streamers themselves here this weekend. We do appreciate everybody jumping from stream to stream over our 8 hours of Brands Hatch on behalf of, presented by International Racing Organization. I'm your host for the remainder of this race. In a few minutes time here, we'll see the car we're looking at take off as our race leader with almost a minute gap on the field currently, and we're going to take this thing to the checkered flag. We've had great battles all day long. We've had some upsets, and the storybook is almost written. Tires are going to come into play here today and have been all day long, with only 6 softs, 4 mediums, and 6 hard tires allowed for the whole duration of the race here today. It all comes down to the decisions made on the racetrack and off the racetrack, not only by the drivers but the pit crews and behind the scenes as well. And we're all about to see how it all comes down. Who allocated a couple sets of soft tires for the last stint, who used their soft tires all up and are going to be stuck on the mediums and hards for the remainder of this race. Well, we're going to find out in just a few minutes time. So we're ready to rock and roll, and we're just waiting for that transition to start. Well, you know, I always worry about our community. I've been a little distant myself from the community as well, as we've been changing the content up a little bit on the back end, or on the main content, so I understand not seeing a lot of our regular faces regularly, but we're here doing what we do best, and that is to bring us some great racing action from the International Racing Organization. And you know, we're very blessed this season here at IRO. We have, the description is not a lie, we have the best talent in GT7 on the racetrack, racing in this championship this season for the ultimate bragging rights of ultimately the best endurance championship in the market right now. When it comes to Gran Turismo 7, IRO's put together an amazing product, and the racers have come to really battle it out for absolute supremacy and top dog status. It's just been a fantastic season so far. We've had 2 really close race finishes, great battles all the way to the checkered flag in our first 24-hour and 12-hour event this season. Now we hit this short little 8-hour event at Brands Hatch. Spicy racetrack for an endurance race. Absolutely love the track selection this season from the IRO committee and staff. GT3 cars and an iconic racetrack like Brands Hatch, where it's tight, it's technical, it's fairly high speed. It just makes for a great race when you have this caliber of talent on the racetrack. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on things here on both sides here, as we're getting fairly close to that driver transition here. We are roughly about 7 to 8 minutes away from seeing the 111 Porsche of OVO Esports start hour number 6. So it's been a spicy race. We've seen lots of rubbins racing, as we like to call it here, but fair play racing. It's just been hard, good fought battles on a very tight racetrack. Some of these cars are definitely going to need some body work at the end of this weekend, moving into round number 4 in about a month's time. And boy, some of these crews are going to have some things that they gotta figure out and overcome with their cars, or whatever it is that's going on. Some teams have had their struggles here today. We've seen some very early setbacks and some great comeback drives so far, and we're about to see how all of that shapes up here. Again, tire strategy is everything today. The driver is only half the equation here this weekend. Having only 6 sets of soft tires for the whole racing weekend makes it very difficult for the teams to decide who's going to run how many sets of soft tires. And I mean, every decision is crucial. Sometimes you got to make a change based off of a racing situation that has happened, and that completely throws that pre-planned strategy out the window. Now you're back into the drawing board, and you're trying to figure out the best case plan B scenario, and then another plan C scenario to back that one up just in case something else happens before the 8 hours is up. So I can't wait to see what we got in store for us here over the last couple hours. Nolander's on the helm right now, leading us into hour number 6. And he's done a great job here this weekend for us as well, jumping into co-host in stint number 1 with me. He was saving grace as we were having the technical difficulties in the production truck this weekend, and we will most certainly be working hard in between the rounds to sort that out so we can get this content back to the IRO channel like everybody loves to see it in its glory and great fashion. It is Saturday. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. The weather's starting to change for the better in a lot of the parts of the world right now, so I hope you got gray skies, sunshine, and some nice warm weather. If you don't, stay happy, stay smiling. It's coming. I promise it's coming. It's coming. Summer is around the corner, just a few weeks away, and I'm sure we're all excited for it. So we all hate that winter grind. We love and look forward to spring, summer season, and that means racing season. So we got great racing action, like I said, right here from the International Racing Organization, and just thank you on behalf to everybody else. And if you're brand new to the channel, you love the commentary, you love the sim racing commentary content, GT45 does bring more content to you. We're 3 subscribers away from that 600. It'd be awesome if we could snap that today so we can start the new push goal for 750. And let's keep this community growing. Let's keep the racing clean, fast, and efficient. And let's get more people involved. I mean, it's a great community. If you've been thinking about trying and you're sitting on the fence to try it, just pick up your controller and try it. Get involved, find a community, and just roll with it. Whether you're here for competitive style racing or you just want to have a chill night, hooning around on your favorite racetrack with your favorite street car, Gran Turismo 7 is the place for you. This community is very welcoming and opens the door to all new racers alike. So whether you're 10 years old or you're 65 years old, it doesn't matter. You fit in here. Give it a try. It could change your life. All right, I'm getting antsy here. I'm waiting for this action. It's been a great race so far. I've been sitting here off in behind the scenes, but, you know, just managing what we can now with what we got left for our production tasks here this weekend, and you know, just trying to make sure that everything else moves nice and fluently throughout the end. Here we are, I believe, going to be missing our podium interviews, however, this weekend due to us having to change our program on the fly again. So absolutely. If you give me just give me a couple of moments here, and as these guys and gals come out, we'll break it down while they're rolling and getting settled into their final stint here. So I went live just a little bit earlier than anticipated, but that's all right. Trying to time it without all the extra fancy doodads that we have available to us is a little bit tricky, but you know what? We appreciate everybody's patience, especially you guys and gals, the viewers. You've been jumping around to 3 different streamers today to get all the content. So for those of you that have been with us from the get-go, right from the beginning, you're absolutely true OGs. You're warriors, you're soldiers, and we really appreciate the support. And those of you that have been catching it in as you can, and you know, thanks for coming in. And for those that have unfortunately missed it because you just didn't know where to find the streams, we do apologize. And again, hopefully we'll have this all ironed out for round number 4, and it all stays in one place so everybody can find it easily. We got a great request already in the chat, so we will get on that request as soon as we get this stint number 4 underway here. And we'll break down as much as we can here in the race for everybody to explain what has happened here. So we have a 14-car grid here this season. We started with 12, and we had 2 teams unable to make it here today. 1 team potentially stepping out for the remainder of the season, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Real life kicks in. You know, like I said, we are sim racing. At the end of the day, we're playing a virtual world, so real life does have to come in first. And sometimes that just changes things. And a year-long championship is hard to navigate. It's hard to logistically keep in check with X amount of drivers on the team, as obviously real life can happen in an instant, and things can change in an instant, so you just never know what's going to happen. So all we hope is that for whatever reason some of the teams have to exit throughout the season, hopefully everybody's okay, hopefully everybody's healthy, and that's all that matters. The racing goes on, the racing continues, and it happens in the fastest possible fashion here at the International Racing Organization, and we are getting extremely close here to that driver swap. So thank you to Nolander Gaming for bringing this into us here to finish this off today. Nolander is our streamer MVP today without a question of a doubt. He saved my bacon in that first stint, and without him I don't think the stream would have quite started the same here today. So much love to Nolander Gaming. If you haven't gone and liked and subscribed to Nolander, go show the man some love. Go hit a like, go hit a subscribe, help his channel grow as well. He's a great commentator. He keeps getting better and better every time he gets in the booth, and you can hear the passion and the love for the sport when he talks. So, all right, here we go. Driver swaps are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Stint 4 is officially underway, and it is to the checkered flag. OVO Esports, our number 111 Porsche team. This has been a race leader here for the last about 3 hours. They have been battling up front all race long. They are our current championship points leaders coming into round 3 here today as well, showing the field why they are number 1 currently in the standings, as they are now currently number 1 here in the race after hour number 6. They have a healthy lead here. It is going to be about 35 to 45 seconds, and they are on the racing soft tire to start this stint. So I'm assuming that they only have 1 or 2 of those sets left at this point in the race. It should be very interesting to see how these tire strategies come out. They've had a fairly uneventful race. They've had hard, good, fair battles up here in the top 3. They've had some lucky bounces go their way with a disconnect from the number 7 Sector 7 racing team, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But other than that, it has been a pretty clean, precise, and calculated race here for the number 111 car, and it shows here with them leading the race. Moving on to our 224 Ferrari here. This is the NWR Motorsports team. Not 100% sure where exactly they sit in the current championship standings at this exact moment, but they have had a fantastic race here today. They led the race for an early portion of the race. They have great pace, and again, same thing, just battling it out with these Porsches. Tire strategy is coming into play a little bit here, and it's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up. I think we're going to see gaps tighten up near the end of this race due to the tire strategies. The drivers and the teams that have used a lot of their softer compounded tires early on in the race are going to be stuck on the more slower style compounds of tires, and that should start to close up some gaps here, I think, on the race track as well. They're 43 seconds behind the race leader, and again, same thing for these guys here. Very clean, calculated, strategic race for the 224. They've kept that car out of trouble. They've had good, clean, hard battles up here at the podium, and they really haven't come off the podium so far here in the last 6 hours. So they've been having a fantastic race here today, and they've just got a couple more hours to go. Feel good racing team here. This Porsche has been flying. They've been using strategy absolutely to its finest here today. The 303 car here. They were down as far as 8th or 9th place at one point in time here in the early goings of this race. They have fought and driven and clawed their way up to that final podium position as the race stands currently right now. They have a minute to second place, and they have only 8 seconds into the Apex Motorsports racing team in behind. So the Feel Good racing team absolutely been moving. They've been doing a fantastic job here, and they have made up some amazing amount of ground in this race, and currently sitting in a decent position here to be standing on one of the podium steps here at the end of the race. So great job here so far from the Feel Good racing team. That takes us here now to the number 23 car, Apex Motorsports Racing. We've got Rodriguez behind the wheel, an absolutely blazing fast racer here as well. One of the best in the business for sure right now. And he's going to see what he can do with this Porsche. He's got a set of soft tires. It's been a lot of mid-pack battling for this guy as well. He's been down as far as 8th or 9th place in this race. He's battled through the mid-pack for the last 2 or 3 hours, and this team has battled through the mid-pack for the last 2 or 3 hours of the race, and they see themselves currently sitting in 4th place. A couple of mistakes made by some of the drivers up front in front of them there in the last stint did allow them to grab a couple of extra positions here, so they're looking pretty strong right now, and the gap is shrinking up there to 3rd place, so they are definitely thinking about that podium position. Moving down into our 5th place team here with Harlech behind the wheel for our defending champions for 2025 GTEC. It is the number 1 esports race asylum car, the gold and silver car here on track, and they were looking a little bit shaky at the beginning of the race, but I think it was just strategy that they were playing out at the beginning of the race. They were sitting 8th, 9th place as well in that mid-pack. They stayed pretty cool, calm, collected. They've made a couple of mistakes here today, but it hasn't cost them too dearly, and they're sitting up in 5th place, but they do have a sizable gap there with 28 seconds, so I don't know if we're going to see them gain on the front end of the pack, but again, we'll have to wait and see who has what tires as this race starts to draw to an end. It's all really up to this tire strategy here at this point, so it's for some of these teams. The Sector 7 racing team, this team has been right there battling it out. They have been flying today. with Sheesh behind the wheel there in the first stint. He had this team absolutely battling it out there on top. They come into stint 2, had a mechanical malfunction, a technical difficulty in this race car, and that set them back. They ended up having to come back into stint 3. They were 3 minutes behind the race leader, and that time hasn't changed, so they are still on pace with the race, but unfortunately now 3 laps behind, almost 3 full laps behind the race leader here at this point. It's going to be interesting to see how much further up the grid they can get from here, but they got a minute gap now to the defending champions, number 1 car up in front. So again, those technical difficulties we were talking about earlier in the broadcast here today in stint number 1 has been haunting that number 7 car here again today. And you know, sometimes these poor guys just can't catch a break, but they don't give up. They always got the pedal to the metal, and they just send it, man. They just shake it off, act like it never happened, and they know that there's positions to be gained if they just keep the wheels turning on that race car, and that's what they do. And I mean, back up into 6th place from 11th place just a couple hours ago, so they have been flying on this racetrack, and they got pole sitter to finish it off here for them today. That takes us to the Inferno Motorsports BMW team. This team has been battling for the podiums right down here through the mid-pack. They are currently sitting in 7th place. And again, it's all coming down to tire strategies. A lot of these teams have been bouncing back and forth 4 or 5 positions in the mid-pack because of their tire compound choices and their pit strategies. So now it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, how all of that plays out at the end of the race. Moving to the 54 Mercedes, to my team Mercedes. This team was down at the back of the pack there for quite a while here in the first 4 hours of the race. The last half of the race, they've turned it up a little bit. They've started to make some ground back up on the field. They are currently sitting in 8th place. Takes us to our Elite Racing Squad here, our 73 BMW. They were doing really well there in the early part of the race. They were sitting there battling up in the top half of the field. They've had a couple of little mishaps here. They've had some great battles on the racetrack today, and they currently find themselves sitting in 9th place overall. And we did have 12 teams start here today. We are down to 10, so I'm just trying to figure out who the other missing team is. We have our GT Finland racing team here as well, the 66 car now out, and they are currently sitting in 10th place. And it's been an up and down race for these guys as well. They've been in the midfield, I think as high up as 5th or 6th place, and they're just coming, just chilling here in this back half of the field. So we'll have to see how the tire strategy plays out. Maybe that's all part of their plan, but sitting in 10th place, almost a minute in behind now. It's looking like a tough climb here for the 66 car here today. And we do have a notable mention to the, I believe it's number 4 Portugal All-Stars team. They had to retire in the first 30 minutes of the race here due again to mechanical or technical malfunctions, and a couple of drivers unable to get behind the wheel here today. So a combination of the two things did unfortunately have the Portugal All-Stars racing team retire the car early today, and we are missing one more team, and as soon as I get my finger on it, I will let you guys know. So I hope that breaks down the race fairly well for everybody, and if there is any adjustments we need to make with the audio, please don't hesitate to let me know. We can tweak that on the fly for everybody, and I mean, let's get racing. So let's break this down. Let's see if we can predict where we're going to see some battles. I mean, right here, this 3rd and 4th place battle is going to heat up. I think this gap is down to 3.4 seconds. It was 6 seconds, 8 seconds when they came out of pit lane. So, I mean, Rodriguez is absolutely cooking right now in this AMS Porsche. Can't discount Harlech here in behind on 5th place, currently the fastest man on the racetrack. He comes around there with a 122.645, but I believe the fastest lap currently is a 122.224. Chat can correct me if I'm wrong on that. It very well could be. I could have missed something faster, but that was set by our current race leaders. Let's go. Jale P6 would be an enormous result. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, let's take a look at the gap here. 7.4 seconds from pole sitter. Definitely not out of the question here. Again, it's all going to come down to who has what sets of tires left. You know they're going to take the absolute best sets of tires that they have left in the pit box in this final stint. What that is, we don't know. I haven't been fully tracking that. I have my suspicions on who has what, but I can't fully 100% confirm. That's a lot of tracking. That's a lot of tracking. All right, so our OVO esports team is losing just a little bit of time currently right now to Jensen from Prima in 2nd place to our 224 Ferrari. Not a whole lot of time. I mean, it's got a 43-second gap right now, especially in this field of drivers. Absolutely just blazing fast. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. We're missing a few of the you know, the TV crew World Tour drivers here, but not that many of you. We have a very stacked list here in Top Split. Like I said, we're very, very fortunate here at IRO to have such the echelon of talent that's on the racetrack this season. And not only in Split 1, Split 2 is no slouch either. Split 2 is not any slower. Essentially, they just didn't make that top 14 cut in qualifying. They could have literally been a thousandth of a second off that 14th position in qualifying and made Split 2 because of that. So it makes them no slower than what we have here. So we have essentially 28 teams with an absolute stacked lineups here this season between two splits at IRO. And unfortunately, Split 2 is not live broadcast. It's just due to manpower. And hopefully, you know, at some point in the future of GTEC Endurance Championship Racing, we can get every split out to you guys. But nonetheless, definitely got to make sure we're getting the top split out there for everybody. However it is that we can. This year has been a struggle, and we do apologize on the production side of things from the production team. On our behalf, we do apologize. We definitely, the transfer program we're using has provided us with some quirks and some kinks this season that we have not yet to work out, so we'll get back at it and hopefully have it flawless for next round. The Polish Almighty, come on, come on. ERS in the house here. All right, 224 car. I mean, purple laps being exchanged here right now with 22.605 now by Harlick. He just made that time a little bit quicker there so far on his fastest lap we just seen a little bit while ago. And I mean, the gap is 42 seconds. Then we got a minute 30, so the podium is fairly separated right now. But we're definitely keeping our eye on this right here. A 1.5 second gap now separating our FGR Feel Good Racing Team and the Apex Motorsports Porsche here as well. So lots of Porsches in the field here. Great car for this racetrack. And I mean, Brands Hatch is a spicy little track for GT3 race cars, no question of a doubt. So a monumental task in this 8-hour race here today. What times are Jensen running? Well, let's go take a look, shall we? 1:22.8, so I mean, 2/10 off the fastest laps right now. So definitely on a very, very good pace here in this Ferrari. And we can see, I think every team has come out on that soft compounded tire here to start stint number 4. Not quite. Okay, interesting. All right, interesting. I believe that the number 7 car only has one set of soft tires left, so we're probably not going to see that set of soft tires come out till the very final pit stop sequence for that team, I would imagine. Just a guess. Who is our other missing car? We're still missing. I'm still missing one here. Let's go take a look at who we're missing here. Let's do that. We can just go look. A little bit of investigative journalism here for a moment. We're missing Project 1 Racing. We're missing the number 20 car. Oh no, I'm not sure what happened there, but we are missing the Project 1 Racing team. Maybe it disconnected before, in between the formation lap and the driver's pit sequence. That's the only thing that I can think of, or it didn't make the lobby. So it is the Project 1 Racing number 20 car. After having a massive climb back in the race, after a very early race incident, they were set back about 28 seconds from the back of the pack in, at the time, 11th place, and they crawled all the way back up into 5th place there, I believe, at the end of stint number 3 there. I'm not sure what has caused that number 20 car to end up behind the wall here in the last 2 hours of this race, but we have most certainly lost our Project 1. Oh, yeah, there we go. A mechanical issue while waiting in pit lane. The car absolutely just with a technical failure. Done deal for the day, and that's a heartbreaker. Heart goes out to Project 1 Racing right there. Man, they were having an incredible comeback drive after a very tough early race start, and I mean, you can't take the heart away from that number 20 car, I tell you what. And even having that and hurting the old point standings a little bit with a lower place finish here today, I wouldn't count that number 20 car out this season yet, ladies and gentlemen. They turned up the heat last season in the last half of the season. If they needed any more reason to have the fire in the belly to absolutely charge this field, that is most certainly going to be it. I don't see this as demotivation for the number 20 team. I see this as absolute motivation, and I think that they're going to come out in the next round absolutely flying. That's what I predict for the number 20 team. That's what I predict. We hate to see it, but it's part of it. I mean, as racers and as organizers and streamers and everybody involved, we all understand that that is an unfortunate reality of virtual racing on servers with people from all over the world. It creates high pings and lobby instabilities and internet connection issues, and sometimes that just doesn't work out for a driver or two. And we hate to see it, but we also hate to see cars, in real life racing get crunched or go off track or blow a tire and then end their race as well. So I mean, we just treat it as the same kind of thing. And the racers, they're very, very resilient, and they'll get over it, and they'll be prepared and ready for the next round of racing. The plan might change a little bit, the goal might change a little bit, but at the end of the day, that number 20 car, you better look out, ladies and gentlemen, because that 20 car is going to be a menace, I think, in round number 4. And they are going to have something to it. They're going to want to make up points. They're going to have something to prove out there, and I think that they're going to send it. All right, here we go. We've got some blue flag traffic in the middle here of this potential battle for the final podium position. They have navigated. No, they have not navigated. It's actually our second place driver lapping the third and fourth place drivers while they're potentially battling for that final podium position. So this is an interesting let's go with my Italian stallion. All right, so we're sticking with this battle. This is an interesting situation because it's a blue flag situation, so I mean they need to at some point give way to that 224 car in the safe passing zone, but they're also involved in a positional battle for the last podium spot. So if they can get this battle engaged before the 224 car catches up, then it's kind of up to the 224 car to wait it out, let the battle happen, and make a move when it's safe to do so, or just they'll space each other out a little bit. Maybe something goes wrong in the battle, they'll let him through. So this is an interesting situation. We don't run into this situation too often here, so this is kind of a weird blue flag protocol situation. But let's get with it. We're gonna stick with it here. I mean, FGR, he's just not. He's not having any of this. He's like, nah, we ain't letting this guy through. We are in a battle right now. We are going to absolutely fight this out here. So, LeBraver? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I apologize if I butcher the names. Is holding strong here now in third place. I mean, this FGR team's had a fantastic day today here. They have used good strategy. They've been patient. And they haven't panicked by the looks of it behind the wheel of this race car. And it's got them in that final podium position, but they're feeling the heat. They're feeling the pressure here from the third place driver. And then you've got that second place 224 car sitting in behind. And I'm sure that 224 Ferrari does not want to be sitting behind this battle right now, because he wants to be in clean air trying to close that 40-second gap to the race leaders to try and get a race win here. So it just continues to add to the story. Oh, and the Ferrari goes wide. Dirty air right there. Throws the 224 car in the grass. He keeps it together. Shoes are going to be a little dirty under braking here, and a mistake made by the AMS team that allows the 224 to get through. Now we'll see FGR let this 224 car through at the next available safe moment when they are within that range, and that will allow that 224 car to finally get into some clean air and try to chase down that first place driver. And then I'm assuming that we're going to see this battle resume very quickly here between third and fourth place, because as soon as FGR lets that 224 car through, is going to slow them down to some extent or another. That's going to allow the AMS car to come in. They're going to be right back in the fight here again for this final podium position. We're going to stick with this. They're definitely close enough now where they need to let that 224 through. So are they going to go wide here into Clark's Bend, or are they going to let them through at the end of Paddock Hill Bend here? I would assume that Paddock Hill Bend would be the better spot here. Then you get onto the straightaway, so let's see what happens here as the blue flag protocol now does come into play here, as the third and fourth place cars no longer battling for positions. So it should be a yielding moment here fairly soon. We're not here to judge either, ladies and gentlemen. We're not saying that, they're doing this or they're doing that wrong. We're just here to tell it as it's happening and as we interpret things and interpret the rule book ourselves as commentators. So I never take anything that the commentator says for face value when it comes to official results and officiating, because that is up to race officials and stewarding officials to deal with post-race and behind the scenes. We're just here for the content, man. We're here to try and keep y'all entertained. All right, so he is getting flashed here now, so that's kind of the final warning here now. That second place 224 car has been like, hey, okay, you need to let me by here now. So he's giving that flash. I mean, he needs to let him through here now at this point. You can't let him through a dingle deli here, but he's going to. Ooh, a little bit of a touch there between the two cars, and maybe not the best place to let him through, but he has let him through. 224 now out of the blue flag situation, and this battle for third place ensues. As just like I said, as soon as that Feel Good racing car lets him through, that is going to close this battle back up for third place. So battle back on. 224 car tries to get moving here. He wants nothing to do with this. He is trying to get out of Dodge right now. He's got some time to make up on the OVO Esports Racing 111 Porsche up ahead here right now. Oh, and there we go. The big move from the Apex Motorsports team. Looks up the inside. The door was open. A little bit of a semi-defensive positioning there from FGR. He didn't cover it enough, and AMS seen it, took advantage. Beautiful, clean, crisp pass right there from the AMS Porsche. Third place in the race here as it stands. Great stuff right there. Massive patience shown by the 23 car right there. Just stayed cool, calm, collected during that blue flag situation. Once he had that 22-24 car get between, played it right, played his cards, used that pass from the second place car on FGR to close it back up, and then pick his moment to make the move. Door was open, and he saw it, and he didn't hesitate. Calculated, crisp, and clean right there. And that's why these are the best drivers in the business. I mean, absolutely spectacular racing right there from those two. Harlech here in fifth place, defending champion, 22.3 seconds in behind. Has closed up about 6 seconds of that gap since the last time we went through the field here. So he is making up time on that fourth and third place driver. Now, obviously, that little bit of a blue flag, i.e. battle situation, helped him big time with that. So Harlech is most certainly going to take that. The Esports Racing side of the team will take that free time gain and continue to try and chip away and gain some more position here on the racetrack. They got a title to defend here, and they're giving it everything they got today to try and gain as many positions as they can. Slowly but surely, they've been chipping their way up the field here today. Good strong drive coming from the Esports Race Asylum team. All right, Inferno Motorsports BMW here, minute 14 in behind. 3.6 seconds in behind is that Sector 7 Racing number 7 car. He is kind of closing in a little bit here, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. There may be an ensuing battle here for P6 very soon. Oops, let's get to our man pole sitter here in 7th place right now. He's got 10 seconds to the My Team Esports Mercedes in behind, so he's got a cushion. I wouldn't say it's comfortable, but it's a cushion. One mistake at Brands Hatch, and that said 10 seconds can disappear quite quickly, so that's why we call it a cushion. My Team Esports here, 1.4 second gap, however, over the Elite Racing Squad's BMW in behind here, so that 73 car is starting to close in and looking to grab that position back here from that Mercedes very shortly. And then we move down to our GT Finland Racing team here, a minute in behind the field, but they had no give in them either. They are returning racers this championship season again here in that 66 car, and changing up the paint scheme this season. We like that cherry red. I really like the cherry red on black. It's a beautiful little scheme they got going on here this weekend. And tough day out there for them, 5 minutes behind the race leader, but the car is still out there, it's still running, and they're looking to take that checkered flag with the car rolling past it. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you're having a rough day at the racetrack and endurance racing, the main goal is get that car to the start-finish line at the end of the day, at least get the car there. And, you know, then you take that small win, you take that little bit of momentum back into the pit box, into the garage, and when you do your debrief, you build off that, you know, and you work into the next round, and you try to sort out the things that went wrong, try to find another way to make sure that you can try to correct that and it doesn't happen for the next race, and you practice and you grind and you continue on, so... But it is the 111 car here, and boy, they look so strong this year, very early on in this racing season. But if anything has told us anything in IRO, the typical guys that jump out in front very early on in the season at some point face that adversity, and all of a sudden they feel the pressure of all the teams chasing and behind in the point standings. So right now, this is exactly the position that 111 is sitting in. They are in a great position currently in the championship point standings. They got a little bit of a cushion right now. If they can continue to on the rate and the pace they're at here in this race and maintain this first place finish to the checkered flag, they're going to be in really good shape going into the fourth round. But in statistical fashion at IRO, that does not guarantee that these guys are going to run away with this championship, because all of a sudden the teams start to lock in and everything changes. So far from over here this season at the IRO, that is for sure. All right, this NWR car is absolutely cooking here today at Brands Hatch. I mean, the only Ferrari on the grid, and he's making Ferrari proud right now, sitting there in P2. He has been in the race lead at times here in this race as well, this team, and they've got a very top tier driver in behind the wheel to finish this thing off. 44-second gap is going to be a massive gap to try and pick up there from the first place team. They look like they're very well in control, but again, racing is racing, and it ain't over till, pardon the old adage, till the fat lady sings. All right, so the FGR Porsche doing a great job here, still hanging in there. He's got 1.6 seconds, so Rodriguez has had a hard time shaking him completely here, but what Rodriguez has been doing is staying pretty close to that 224 Ferrari, and that's probably great news for the AMS 23 Porsche here, because that is free slipstream, that is a little bit of free fuel saving, that might even potentially be a little bit of tire conservation just sitting in the tail end of that slipstream of that Ferrari here right now. So a little bit of help in a sense coming from that second place driver, but this is not a battle for position if they close back up. It is just a battle for the AMS team to get the lead lap back on that 224 car. So the 224 Ferrari is a full lap ahead of our third place car here. So they got some work to do here right now on the racetrack if they want to battle for a higher podium position. But again, tire strategies are going to come into play at some point here. We're going to start to see some of these gaps change. All right, so I believe that is Harlech closing in on the number 7 Sector 7 Porsche, and that is what I'm seeing here. And I'm not sure if the Sector 7 Porsche has made his way around the number 1 car. The number 1 car is just starting to close in on the number 7 car at this point. For some reason, we don't see blue flags waving on the screen, so that's a little odd because it's definitely a blue flag situation here right now. But these drivers got it handled, so you can see a little flash of the headlights there from the ERA team, just to give the heads up to pole sitter that, hey, I'm caught up, it's time to get me around. And they should happen here hopefully after this corner, or up after Surtees on the straight here. So it does require a little bit of patience from the chasing driver, and there we go. So as we head up into Surtees there, he does give way, moves off the racing line, allows the number 1 car to get around quickly, and pole sitter with as minimal time loss as possible allows that car nice and easily through into Surtees there, and no harm, no foul. A great blue flag transition right there between the two racers. Racing BMW here again. These guys have been battling back and forth in the mid pack all day long as 27 cars giving it everything they got. And you guys, Jelly Racer, currently sitting in 6th place. So I believe we've seen something in the chat going, come on, get up into P6. Well, they're there right now. They are there right now. It's just a matter of now holding that position from pole sitter. Only 7.5 seconds in behind. He's got a little bit of a faster car in front of him here. Same thing. You can get in that toe and just maintain that pace just on the tail end of that toe. That might actually allow him to catch up to 6th place and create a battle there as well. Go Bon Bon. Hey, we love to see the fans in here. We love to see the fans in here. All right, my team, Esports here, the Mercedes, the 54 team, getting the pressure from the Elite Racing Squad BMW 73 car here. This is a battle on 0.2 of a second. Just a car length separating these two absolute beasts of cars here right now. Not necessarily greatly suited for Brands Hatch Racetrack. They're definitely at a slight disadvantage compared to those MR cars on track here today as far as agility goes. But they definitely got the raw horsepower under the hoods of these cars to make up a little bit of that time on the very few short straightaways that are available on this racetrack. So this will be a good battle between the BMW and the Mercedes here as the 54 and 73 cars start to battle it out here for 8th place. So we're going to sit with this. Any battle is a good battle as far as I'm concerned, whether it's for 1st place or last place, it does not matter. Racing is racing. We love to see the action. So here we are, battle for 8th position here, and BMW trying to get the run, but the Merc has the legs just to keep ahead of it here. So this is going to be a battle of attrition here for the 73 car. I think the BMW is just slightly lower on the top end, and that Mercedes is on a straight line, so the BMW should be slightly better in the corner. So this is a pretty even match as far as I'm concerned in between these two cars. It's gonna really come down to the guys behind the wheel, guys or gals. And as we head in towards Clark's Bend here for the 20th time here in stint number 4. Again, still only separated by about a car length, a little over here, is this BMW and Mercedes right now. So the heat is on. All right, as we keep going, we're not going to sing you a montage. Unfortunately, my singing voice is not nowhere near as good as Jaeger's, so we'll save you guys the ear trauma, and we'll just leave it at that. we talk better than we sing. Oh, there we go. And he closes right up, a little touch on the bumper there, right on the apex of Druids, and woof. You know, that's, you know, you got a good gain under braking right there when you give him a little tap through the corner and be like, hey, mate, get going, would you? So, here we go, battle on. Ooh, opportunity there. He takes a little bit of a look, but the door is closed right there. He wasn't going to try for it, but he definitely took a look. Maybe see if he got a reaction out of that 54. And 54 held his line strong there. Made sure the door got closed. Make sure there was no opening there for that 73 car to get his nose in there and make it too wide. So the 54 car is doing just enough here right now. Good car positioning is keeping him out in front of the 73 BMW here, but the 73 car is having none of it. He is game on. Had the cap has just been flipped around backwards. Sunglasses just got lifted up onto the forehead, and it is business time here behind the wheel of these race cars right now. And as the drivers grip them wheels a little bit tighter and push the gas pedal just a little bit harder, it's all about the best position you can get as the clock continues to wind down. There we go, side by side. 73 finds the opening in the paddock hill bend. Ooh, squeeze tight a little bit of a touch between the two. No harm, no foul. Side by side as we head into Druids. 73 car has the inside track here, has the better line, but the Mercedes can look for the over-under here. Can he get the power down? No, he cannot. The 73 car gets the job done in through Druids, and game on. Let's see if the 54 car has a response here as we head up in towards Searchies. And boy, oh boy, some great racing here coming from the IRO. These guys are absolutely sending it no matter where it is on the racetrack that they are right now. And boy, that 54 car is like, oh, no. You think so? Yeah, this is not over yet, mate. Hold on. Okay, I see your pass, and we're going to try and trump that with a return pass. Check ahead for a split second. Absolutely. We'll go through the field here real quick. All right, so we got the race leader actually closing up on this battle here. He's probably about 3 or 4 seconds in behind, so that could potentially affect that battle a little bit. So the 111 car is still 40 seconds ahead of Prima Jensen. This is 1 minute and 24 seconds here for the 224 car over the AMS Porsche, who is still tucked into that slipstream in behind him a lap down. 4 seconds is the gap between them and Feel Good Racing here now on the racetrack. So slowly but surely starting to open that gap to 4th place here a little bit. Harlech is 18 seconds in behind the FGR Racing car here, and that is, they're gaining, they're chipping away here a little bit. That was over 20 seconds. We have the Infernal Racing Team a minute 18 behind, so right now their battle is what's coming up in behind them with Sector 7 Racing's pole sitter, 9.2 seconds, losing a little bit of time last time we went through to Jelly and in that BMW, and the ERS Elite Racing Squad BMW, which we were just watching there, is only 6 seconds in behind that Sector 7 car, with the 54 Mercedes just a second in behind as well. So things are heating up here on the racetrack, and we're going to see pit stops happening probably in the next, 15 minutes or so. But if any of these drivers are out of soft tire allocation, we may very well see them stretch them out as far as they possibly can with minimal pace loss as possible. So GT Finland Racing Team here, a minute 5 in behind here in 10th place. A little bit of work to do right now, but go Stefano. All right, race leaders here. And let's get back to that battle up there. Let's get back to this deal. All right, so it does appear that the 73 ERS car now has gained a little bit of a gap there. He's actually broken the slipstream from the Mercedes and the 54 team in behind, and is now trying to continue to open that gap. So for the time being, this battle has dissipated here on the racetrack, and a nice pass there from the ERS squad over the My Team Esports team there. So great stuff here. Good, solid, clean battling here happening in the dying hours of our 8 hours of Brands Hatch here. Absolutely excited to see this track come up this season. I think I've said that once already, but you just don't see this track very often in competitive racing scenario anymore, and to see it in this fashion in an 8-hour endurance race is honestly a tribute to the track and to the absolute iconic history that this track does provide to the United Kingdom. So good show from the IRO staff. I mean, a UK-based organization coming in with an absolute epic 8-hour UK-based race on an iconic racetrack. I think they nailed the head right on the hammer, the head and the nail, the head right on the nail there with this setup here for round 3. Absolutely been enjoying this race dramatically. It's been very action-packed, and these racers have handled what I consider to be probably one of the more difficult races this season, just due to the sheer technical value and short track, narrow battling scenarios that they got to deal with compared to these bigger, more famous racetracks that we're used to seeing in an endurance fashion. So, in my opinion, this is definitely by far probably one of the races on the schedule that every one of the racers had on their whiteboard marked as definitely a difficulty factor, a little bit higher than one would think or expect. And the concentration required to get around this racetrack at the pace and the consistency that these racers are doing it is actually quite incredible. And I take that from experience from racing this championship last season in Split 2. The mental fortitude and patience and collectiveness you got to be able to have, being able to make a decision immediately on the fly because something unexpected happened it's not an easy task. I mean, every one of these racers and every one of these team guys in behind the scenes that might not be on track but are helping out in with the radio communication and all that stuff in behind the scenes, race engineering, it's stressful. It's stressful during these hours. You know, it's you feel it together as a group when something happens, whether it be a high or a low as well. So I mean, it's intense. It's intense. I mean, it's at the end of the day, you know, you're tired, you're exhausted, and your brain needs to decompress what just happened, right? So I mean, just massive shout out to our racers here. It's one thing to see these guys do at this level, say on the World Tour stage for Gran Turismo 7 where they're racing a 30 or 40 minute race. These guys are doing 8, 12, and 24-hour races with 2-hour stints at this absolutely incredibly insane pace. I mean, it just goes to show the fortitude behind these drivers, behind the wheels of these race cars. All right, Harlech is chipping away here. He's got this gap down to 16 seconds now to the FGR kid, the Porsche up in front, the 303 car, I believe that is, up in front here. Absolutely, definitely moving up the racetrack here right now. Fastest lap currently on this session is a 122.471. It's roughly about 0.25 seconds off the current fastest lap of the overall race, I believe. Pole sitter here, 9 seconds in behind Jelly Racer. Again, just maintaining that gap at this point here, and it's a 4.3 second gap to ERS. So they have gained a couple of seconds on the Sector 7, number 7 car here over the last half a dozen laps or so here or less as we've gone through the field. Again, my team is still only just 2 seconds in behind that most recent battle we've seen between them and the 73 car up in front. And again, love to our GT Finland racing team here, currently still sitting here in 10th place, giving it everything they got, seeing what they can do here with the remaining time on the clock. Special shout out to obviously Project One Racing, the number 20 Porsche. Tough finish for the day there with the car braking on in the final driver swap sequence, and then special shout out to the Portugal All-Star team as well. Started the race here today, but had to retire that car early due to manpower and technical complications. So seen 2 teams drop today, but racing is racing, and these guys continue on. And the top 10, the 10 cars still on track fighting it out here, have been providing us with some great action all day long. All right, let's check it out. Give some love to everybody here. Give a little camera time to everybody here. If there's somebody you want to see right now, let me know. Now's a good time for us just to take a little bit of time to go through the field while things are a little bit spread out. Nothing too crazy is happening here. And, I mean, let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know where you're watching from. Really appreciate it. We're on the road to 600 subs here as well at GT45 Gaming, so I am going to take the opportunity to say if you're not a member of the page and you're not a member of the Winner's Circle community, smash that subscribe button for us today. Join the community, and make sure you don't miss any more of the great racing action throughout the GT7 community, wherever it may be. And I definitely like to stream out as it helps the page grow. We appreciate y'all. And if you're not a member of the International Racing Organization YouTube channel, you are missing some of the best racing action ever produced on GT7. Go subscribe. You don't want to miss round 4. All right, so I mean, Apex Motorsports racing team here right now, absolutely doing a great job of just pacing that 224 car here right now. I mean, I want to say they're roughly about 2.5 seconds in behind now, but I mean, they've been sitting there just absolutely just kind of not even. I want to say maybe a second and a half in behind here, so just out of the slipstream right now, but definitely got to take advantage of a little bit of free toe around the racetrack there for a bit. I mean, that's allowed them to get 6 seconds now on the FGR team. So the big question is, without that extra little bit of slipstream assistance, would the gap be that big right now? Probably not. I would say maybe around 3.5, 4 seconds if I had to guess. Harlech chipping away, 15.5 seconds. I mean, it is lap by lap, you know, a half a second here, 6/10 there, 3/10 here, 3/4 there. Starting to close it, Got blue flag situation coming here. This could potentially slow down the rhythm a little bit, slow down the pace a little bit, but absolutely flying around the racetrack here right now. Very close to very consistent lap times here as they get into a late stint on these tires, essentially. Track, sun's starting to come down, which is starting to cool the track down. That's going to be good for the tires, for the wear on the tires for these drivers, to give them a little bit of extra distance on those tires, but at the same time it's going to be changing the track conditions. Now the track's going to be cooling down, the track's going to get a little slicker, and depending on what tire compounds these teams have left, that could spell trouble in the latter part of this race as we head towards the darker hours of the evening here. It looks like, see, the headlights are starting to come on in these cars now. It is an automatic feature here in Gran Turismo 7, signaling that it is starting to get dark. Let's jump on board with our race leader here for a minute as we head around Surtees here. We'll do a little bit of onboard action here with our race leader in the 992 GT3R, the newest addition as far as GT3 machinery goes to GT7, and definitely seems to be a very popular car. Everybody's been waiting for a new model of Porsche for a very long time. We finally got it, and racers are taking full advantage of it here, so love to see it. And very smooth, as you can see, as we go through Dingle Dell there, coming into, oh, I forgot that corner name, rip. Sheen? I think that was Sheen. And then into Clark's Bend here. Just smooth. He's not forcing the car, he's not overdriving the car, very little braking. He's using the gearing to slow the car down more than he's using the brakes. Now the braking in this newer Porsche is a little sketchy, it's especially mid-corner, so you're kind of controlling it with RPM more so than you are with brake. Brakes will force the car to step out, the back end to come out on you. As we head into Drew, as you're just trying to keep as much momentum but keep a nice tight line so you can slam the gas early, use all that exit curbing, a little lift right here, roll it through this corner and get on that exit curbing again, just maximizing every millimeter of this racetrack and beyond. Here you got to flirt with death a little bit. Beginning of the curbing, you're thinking about getting your braking, your downshifting down. Nice tight apex at that line that goes around the racetrack right there is kind of where your acceleration point is, and that's where you want to hopefully be lined up to get back on your power and maximize corner exit there as we head down to the straight. So it was a quick lap around Brands Hatch, starting at turn number 3 with Surtees there, turn number 4 technically, here at Brands Hatch and all the way around. And you can see just smooth, very smooth driving here from the 111 car. Made that look absolutely easy. Made it look absolutely easy, didn't he, ladies and gentlemen? All right, so Jensen, 42 seconds in behind, maintaining the pace of the race. I mean, you can't take anything away from the 224 NWR Motorsports Ferrari here right now. I mean, they've been on pace with this race all day long. Strategies have been separating the racers apart, mainly the set amount of tire compounds you're allowed to use during a race is really a lovely add-on into the championship series. It really forces all the teams to really sit down and think about how they're gonna make this race work and their strategy. And it even comes more so into play when you start factoring in rain potential races as well, which I'm sure we're going to see as the season progresses here. We're going to be on track for rain is potential, and that's going to change up the tire strategy as well. And I'm pretty sure that when it comes down to wet tires, that will be an unlimited usage, just due to this, obviously the situational deal with rain racing. So you can't really limit rain tires when you don't know how much rain is actually going to hit the racetrack, because it is completely random. So I believe that wet and intermediate wet tires in the situation of wet weather are unlimited in this situation. So obviously that's not going to affect us here today at Brands Hatch, but in races like Spa or Nürburgring and races like that where rain is a very high potential, then drivers have to think about that within their strategies as well. All right, so FGR is starting to lose touch with AMS a little bit here. ERA is closing in on FGR a little bit here. And oh, that was a massively wide exit there out of, I believe that was Graham Hill, heading into Cersei's here. He does have a little bit of dirt on the shoes there, but he's gonna handle that like a professional and get around the corner. But boy, Inferno Motorsports closing in, looking to get a lap back on the ERA #1 car here and get back on the lead lap with that car. So a full lap gap essentially separating the 27 from the #1 car right now. So nothing to worry about for Harlock there. If they get a good run, you let them go through. They still got a whole minute plus to make up before they're going to be battling you for that position. The clock is winding down. You're probably okay to let that guy through, but you just clearly got pace at this point. Decisions on the racetrack matter here as well. I mean, making those smart decisions at the right times can make or break what happens over the next half hour of your race as well. So there's just always so much going on for these racers while they're in this situation. Something in my stream setup here. I wasn't sure if we had a podium set up on this live streaming overlay or not. I don't think we do. Are we going to set up a VC in the Discord for interviews today, Ray, or are we just going to let it be for today and take round 4 as it comes at us in a month? Alright, so there we go. We got the first set of pit stops finally happening here. FGR is going to come in. They're going to remove those soft tires. And what is it that they're now going to come out to? What tires do they have left to race on? You know it's going to be the faster tire. Whatever their fastest tires are right now is what we're going to see these teams be putting on. Whatever they've got left in the tire allotments, they are going to use to their full extent here now, with just an hour, a little over an hour left in this 8-hour endurance round 3 race. Pardon me, I keep saying a lot. I'm working on stopping that. I apologize. Always tripping over our own words sometimes. Race leader also into pit lane here. I didn't see what tires they came out on in their FGR. They came out on those tires. I'm not going to say you guys can see for yourselves, but I'm not going to outright blurt it, so it's not my style. Alright, so our race leader comes out. They've got their tire compound selected, and interesting. Alright, so we're probably going to be seeing this 224 car coming in. I kind of maybe expected to see him come in right there, but he's going to opt to go around again. And we've got Harlock now up into 4th place here with that pit stop from FGR. So ERA does grab a spot with that pit stop, but they are going to have to make a pit stop themselves as well. So they are going to give pit strategy time back. The question is, are they going to give enough back to allow FGR ahead, or are they going to come out ahead of FGR at this point? So it is an undercut strategy for the Feel Good Racing car right now over essentially that number 1 esports race asylum team. Jelly Racer here from Infernal Motorsports right now in that 27 BMW is about a minute in behind 5th place there, the FGR Porsche. So as the pit stops start happening, we're going to start to see what tires these drivers and these teams have left to use. So pole sitter here is about 4 minutes behind the overall race leader, but only 5 seconds in behind Infernal Motorsports 27 car. We've got ERS here now in pit lane, the 73 car making a scheduled stop here. And what is it that they've opted to come out on here in this particular run? There it is. You can all see it for yourselves. Again, we're not going to blur that out. And it's race on for now. I am expecting to see our Prima team, or not our Prima team, the NWR team, our Prima driver, pardon me, making a pit stop here fairly shortly. If it's not going to be this time around, so he is going to continue around again. And it looks like he's going to take this car right down to the end of the fuel load, most likely. So 2 or 3 more laps, it looks like, based off what I'm looking at. And then we should see this driver come in. Now, if something drastic happens, or there's a moment on the racetrack, he may maybe cut that a little bit short. But again, it all depends on what tires they have left. And we see a little lag spike in the lobby right there. A little bit of a netcode issue there. It is coming from the AMS car here right now, and that is slightly concerning here as you see, there it goes. We just lost the AMS Porsche, and that is another car done for the day here and in behind pit wall, and another heartbreaker for another race team here at Brands Hatch. And this track is absolutely cooking these teams and these cars here today. AMS disconnecting on lap 36 most likely of this race here, and in 3rd place. So that is an absolute heartbreaker, and the teams that are chasing are feeling bad for sure for that Porsche right now. But at the same time, they're like, well, that's one more spot and points for us, I guess, at the same time. So it's good for the teams that we're chasing, but you know they're feeling that pain. You know they feel for that team right now. All right, so there we go. The 224 car is coming in and has decided enough is enough on those wore-out dancing shoes. Time to get a new pair. So Harlock now up into 3rd position here, and still has yet to make their scheduled pit stop here in this particular part of the race and this driver's stint. And we'll have to wait to see if that gives the position back to FGR. Once they make that pit stop, again, comes down to how much fuel in comparison to how much fuel FGR took. And that will make the difference in the pit stop, most likely in the time split. All right, so Jensen comes out in 2nd place, still a minute 48 ahead of 3rd place is ERA Harlock. He's got a little bit of blue flag traffic right directly behind at race pace, but shouldn't have a problem getting back up to pace and hopefully staying ahead of those blue flag cars, so he doesn't have to navigate that situation all over again and slow himself down. That's the best case scenario in that situation, is just get up to speed, get those tires heated up as quickly as possible and as safely as possible, and open that gap back up and get away from that ensuing battle in behind. All right, so the ERS for BMW is closing in on the FGR Porsche here, 100% for sure. So we're going to see a pass here, but this will not be a positional pass. This will be a lead lap pass. So this will be the 73 BMW catches a little bit of that curb right there and kind of tossed him off to the side into search season. He had to check up right there. You can see he was going to push into the Porsche right there. He had great situational awareness and just lifted on the throttle enough to keep the BMW out of the side of the Porsche there. And he'll just set up and re-engage his pass, looking for his opportunity. He took a look here as we head in through Dingledale, heading up into Sheen Curve here. And he's just biding his time. Very patient here from the 73 car. He's aware that that's not the sector to make the move here, and I suspect we're going to see it happen coming into Clark's Curve here. Clark's Bend, I guess it's called. No, we do not. So surprised there actually not to see that move happen there. Maybe he's using a little bit of slipstream here. I'm not sure what what we're seeing here. But Paddock Hill Bend, he's going to go down the inside, up the front straight here. He is going to take a look at getting the job done into Paddock Hill Bend side by side there, and gets him a little bit tight on the outside of the corner just to make sure he gets around there, and pass complete. So that was not a pass for position, that was just the 73 car getting a lap back on our 4th place driver there, so he will continue on the racetrack. And FGR is not losing anything there, but maybe a little bit of time for navigating that situation. Jelly Racer here now up into 5th place with the disconnect from the AMS Porsche, and it's just absolutely gut-wrenching to see that happen. But sitting here in 5th place right now, only 2.5 seconds though separates himself and the Sector 7, number 7 Porsche here. It's been a tough day for them. They're coming back from a technical malfunction here in stint number 2 as well, so they've been driving hard here for the last 3 and a bit hours now, and they got themselves almost back up in the top half of the field. When you think about starting race with 12 racers, they are technically up back in the top half of the field here. So pole sitter's doing a good job here in the number 7 car, bringing this thing home here for these guys, and potentially looking for another position yet on the racetrack, at least one here anyways. 73 car is 21 seconds in behind the Sector 7 number 7 car here, and has about 6 seconds to My Team 54 Mercedes. So the My Team Esports car is right there. Potential battle could potentially be brewing there, and the 66 Porsche of GT Finland Racer is now up another position here. So just being able to be on track and keep the car rolling sometimes will gain you points, and in this situation that has been the case here today. In this final stint, as we've lost a couple of teams here in this final stint, which has definitely helped some teams gain an extra set of points or an extra position on the racetrack. So unofficially anyways, but up into 9th place here. So every little gain right now for the 66 car is a small win for them right now, and you know, sometimes you just take them any way you can get them. Alright, that 111 car is cooking here. Currently the fastest lap on track is the ERS team, the 73 BMW with this session with a 122.363, roughly about 1.5 tenths off the current overall fastest lap of the race. So they are closing in on that, but that 122.2 still holding strong here in this race today for these 7 hours, a little over 7 hours of race time. Alright, so 224 car is closed in on the number 1 car. This will be a blue flag situation here. This is not a positional battle. And there we go. Harlock's just going to bounce out of the way there, going into Xerxes. Didn't really give up a lot of time there either. Had enough time on that little straight to not really have to slow up too much. The 224 got around nice and quickly. And the number 1 car maybe only losing a couple tenths in that exchange there. So that was a well planned out blue flag situation right there for the 224 NWS Motorsports car. So Harlech going a lap down to the 2nd place car right there with that blue flag position, but right now ERA sitting in that final podium position, and the way the race started today, that's a great run here for them, and now it's just a matter of where they finish this thing off. Can they hold that final position down? They have 22 seconds to FGR, who pit a little while back, so that is going to come into play when they make their pit stop, and I think that's going to give FGR a little bit of a lead over the ERA car once that transition happens. We'll have to wait to see, but that's what I think at the moment. It's going to be very close. Alright, Jelly Racer is cruising about a minute in behind FGR right now, but boy oh boy, that Sector 7 car is closing in quickly now, 1.5 seconds in behind, and we can see why. The difference in the tire compounds right now, it definitely explains a lot. You can see the 66 car closing in on the number 7 car. That will be just a lap back fight when that ensues, if it ensues, but right now pole sitter's focus is not what's happening in that cherry red Porsche in behind him. His focus is on that white, black, and red BMW in front of Inferno Motorsports right now. So battle is potentially brewing here. We're going to sit with this for a minute. We'll sit with pole sitter in the Sector 7 team here as he is chasing. And I got, you know, the number 27 car is doing a great job at trying to just keep them out of that slipstream right now. The last thing you want to do at this point in the race is allow them into your slipstream. And boy, pole sitter got a good run right there through the bend, and he got almost into the edge of that toe here. So if pole sitter can just keep it up here for the last couple sectors of the racetrack here, he may very well be able to get a little bit of tow heading into Paddock Hill Bend. Absolutely gorgeous comeback here from Sector 7 Racing. Absolutely doing a great job here. A little bit of luck, some hard racing and head down, and they got themselves in a decent position. But pit stop will be coming here soon from this number 7 car as well, so be interesting to see what they choose to do next. And now is the argument. Do you battle here? You're coming into pit lane relatively soon. If the opportunity arises, do you take the position, or do you just sit back and hope that you're not losing any extra time sitting behind that car knowing that you got to pit? That's kind of the ultimate decision that needs to be made here now with pole sitter, right? I mean, if an opportunity arises, do you make the pass? That is potentially going to gain you that extra little bit of time after you make your pit stop. You're going to have a potentially smaller gap to close up. Might be worth it, might not be. It is a situational assessment for the driver behind the wheel of the 7 car right now. We're going to stick with this for a minute. I'm very interested to see what happens here myself as I throw that out there, that big question mark. Do you make the pass, or do you just sit tight? All depends how many more laps pole sitter plans on going around this racetrack, but fuel is only going to take him so far here, so I suspect we're within 3 laps of seeing pit stop happening here for our number 7 Porsche. So let's see. He's definitely applying some pressure here. It's not what I like to call attacking pressure. It is just rear bumper pressure. Get that driver looking in the mirror, get them checking the mirrors. Maybe they slip up in a braking zone, open up the door a little bit, open up an apex, and leave enough room for that number 7 Porsche to slip through. But right now, nothing happening. You can see immediate defensive positioning right there from the 27 car, and then moving up into the center of the track, really trying not to allow any breathing room for the number 7 car to make this pass happen here. So game on. Battle for 5th place here between Jelly Racer and the pole sitter here. The Sector 7 car looking to grab another one, and there he goes. He's going to take it deep, and a beautiful pass right there from the Sector 7 Racing team. Pole sitter getting the job done, and as we head into Surtees, he has got it wrapped. Position gain right there, and oh, we're running that back. We're running that back, chat. Absolutely beauty right there. Good patience by pole sitter. Waited for the right opportunity. Little mind fake right there. Little fake right there. Tried to get him to bite. There was no bite. Sets up with a wide entry. Gets a good run right there, and then the over-under. Absolutely dipsy-doodled him right there. Beautiful, beautiful racing pass right there. Very slight amount of contact potentially there between the 2 races, but beautiful pass there from that number 7 car on the 27 team. And oh yeah, the race is still on. All right, 10-second gap here from ERS to Jelly Racer. I mean, we just don't know where this mid-pack is always lights it up at the end of these races. It's always fantastic. 54 car here. He's feeling a blue flag pressure here from the Feel Good Racing car, currently sitting in 4th place right now. Yeah, blue flag traffic and all kinds of things happening. We got 66 car from GT Finland Racers coming into pit lane. We've got Jelly Racer for Infernal Motorsports, number 27 car, also now into pit lane here. So we'll see what tires they come out on next. The 111 car moving and grooving. We have half race distance still remaining in this driver's stint. Probably going to see yet one more pit stop coming from the 111 car, but he does have the cushion to do that. 224 the Ferrari here, hard to say. I think it's going to be the same deal. I think we're going to see a late stint stop from them, and I think that's just the way that the strategy is working out. Harlech here from Esports Races out of, I'm assuming we're going to see a pit stop coming in probably at the end of this lap. Maybe he can squeeze one more lap in, but the condition of those dancing shoes, they ain't dancing anymore. They are flapping soles. So the rubber is almost down to the wire here on this racing car, and you don't want to tempt fate. You don't want to get that blowout in the car. So I would assume we're going to see a pit stop coming here from the number 1 car, and that's exactly what we're going to see here as he makes a very quick entry into pit lane and pit stop here for the ERA team. So now the big question is, do they come out in front of or behind Feel Good Racing? The 303 Porsche looking for that podium. They've been hunting it all day long, and it has been an incredible drive from this team as well. This race here in 8 hours. They started out in the back half of the mid-pack. They moved their way up, they moved their way down, and then they moved their way back up, and they've been holding very strong here for this final podium position, the last step here at Brands Hatch. And as we're coming around, here it's going to be close. Harlech has not been released out of the pits yet. And it is going to be FGR, and he is going to come out ahead of Harlock there, and it's going to be roughly 5 seconds or less. So very close. I did say it's going to be very close one way or the other. And, well, I would say 3.8 seconds, call it 4 seconds, is pretty close. So Harlech 4 seconds in behind FGR. FGR is working that undercut strategy. Let's see how it pays off. Sector 7 here still has yet to pit. They are getting very low on the petrol here, so like we assumed with Harlech and the ERA team, the number 7 car is most likely going to be diving into pit lane at the end of this lap. We'll sit with them here and see if that is the case. So I do believe that this team has one set of soft tires left in their garage yet, and I do suspect that we're going to see them come out right now. It wouldn't make sense to run any other tire at this point. If they have to make one more pit stop at the end of the race, it'll be whatever they've got left for a tire at that point. But I think they're going to maximize what they've got here, and I think we're going to see that soft tire compound come on the 7 car. We'll have to wait to find out officially for sure, but we're going to watch that crew work here as they get this car ready for what could potentially be its final run of the day. Love that Damascus patterning on the race car in the black part. I'm not sure if you guys and gals at home can see that on the broadcast, but in the blue and black areas, you can see a lot of Damascus style patterning in there, I like to call it, and it really just pops that livery. It looks very sharp, very well done by the number 7 team. Like all the paint work done here in the championship season, all season long, has been fantastic. The cars get changed up from week to week a lot of them times too, so it's always a nice fresh look for our teams and our racers for the most part here every race weekend, every month. So kudos to our paint gurus in behind the scenes as well, because they make these guys and gals look good while they're out there too. You know what I mean? Gotta have a good looking car, right? Alright, so the 111 in large and in charge here right now. We've said it a million times, we'll say it again, it's their race to lose at this point in the race. Now, there's still a lot of time left, but a 42-second gap. They're looking very strong right now. They're definitely on the top of the contention list for winning this race as far as the race stands right now. You can't take it away from this 224 Ferrari though. If they slip up, they make the big mistake. They make a miscalculation in their strategy. Anything like that happens, this Ferrari is ready to pick up the pieces. They are in almost striking distance if a pit stop has to be made, an extra pit stop over the 224 car here, and that might potentially be the case just with the difference in pit stop times from these cars. But I think that this Ferrari is going to be stretching to try and get these soft tires to go that distance in the race, but we'll wait and see. We've seen some guys get an amazing amount of laps on these soft tires. Alright, so FGR is moving. I mean, they're 2 minutes in behind second place, and they got 2 seconds in behind them. Right now, this is definitely their concern. And with Inferno Motorsports right in behind in the 27 BMW there, they could complicate things with trying to unlap themselves in amongst this battle for P3 here as well. So Harlech needs to get moving and grooving here and get up to the rear bumper of FGR there so he can engage that battle before the 27 car potentially catches up and forces these guys to have to slow that potential battle down here for a lap or two, because it is very clear that the 27 BMW is a little bit quicker, I think, here right now than that number 1 car. Maybe he's just getting some heat built up into the tires, but the 27 car has definitely gained on the number 1 car very quickly here over the last couple sectors of the racetrack here. Potentially going to see him think about trying to get that lap back on Harlech as they go around. This is not a battle for position between these two cars, but it is a battle for the 27 car to get the lap back on our 4th place driver here. 27 could opt to not try and make the pass and just sit in behind these two as well, but I think he's a little bit faster right now, so it's hard to say what he's thinking in behind the wheel right now. Alright, we're going to just kind of rip through the field here, see what we see. All right, so pole sitter is out back on track here, and wow, proved me wrong. They came in with a set of mediums there, so they may not have any soft tires left potentially. Maybe they did use all 6 and I just missed a set get used. Quite possible. I didn't quite catch the full 6 hours of the race here today. I missed the little bits and pieces of it, and that is just enough for me to miss information sometimes. But maybe they do not have any soft tires left in the garage here today. Alright, so this battle starting to brew here between Harlock and Lebraber? I feel like I should know this name. I feel like I should really know how to say that. I don't know why. My mind's just clicking like, dude, you should know this. Alright, so number 1 car trying to apply pressure. I mean, he's half a second in behind at this point, couple car lengths. But he, again, has that 27 car kind of all over his rear bumper here right now. So how much of that is he paying attention to in comparison to trying to catch up to the yellow and white Porsche up in front of him here as well? So kind of in the middle of an interesting sandwich right now here is Harlock. I said sandwich. I could go for a sandwich right now, no cap, not gonna lie. Somebody want to bring me a sandwich? That'd be fantastic. Hold the tomato. This is a great 3-way battle. The 27 car is just chilling back there, just pacing with the 3rd and 4th place drivers. He doesn't really, you know, if I'm in this position, I'm not wanting to get in the middle of this fight either. I mean, this driver knows what's going on. He knows that this is a battle for the final podium position here. I think he's going to let this battle kind of do its thing, and then he may maybe consider trying to navigate around these guys. But you can see he's having a really hard time here. He just continues to close in on the rear bumper of Harlock all the time. And at some point, you know, does he feel like he's just faster? And if an opportunity arises, is he going to get it done, right? So, again, the interesting scenario is short track racing, man. I mean, Brands Hatch is basically a short track racing track in a sense, especially for these GT3 cars. So you do get that combination of lead lap traffic, positional battles, and blue flag traffic all mixed together sometimes. It creates some intense action. You can't watch. Busy is in a different universe, right? Yeah, no, he's moving, man. I'm certain that he can pass both these guys right now in that 27 car. I think he's literally just being smart here. He is aware of the situation that's happening in front of him, and I think that he's just being very, very patient here. But is it costing him by being so patient now at this point, right? He is allowed to make the pass on these guys to take the lead lap back. He does have 3 laps to open that gap up to a point where the blue flag's not waving at him anymore. But the issue is he's got 2 of them to navigate around, and that could very well make it very difficult to get that gap open enough on 2 of them that are battling for position, right? So, I mean, high risk for the 27 car to try and make his way around these 2 right now, but I think he has the pace to do so at the moment. And there it is. Harlock takes a look into search, sees there, and ooh, squeeze tight. 303 responding. They're absolutely giving him just very minimal track space right there in the inside corner. He's like, nah, mate, I ain't making this easy on you. And defends the corner there. So Harlock took a great crack at it there, but a good defensive measure right there from the 303 car. Good fair play right there. And I mean, that's what you do. The car gets position on you, inside or outside, you know, you just minimalize the amount of racetrack they have to work with, and that minimalizes their option for lines to take, which means they may need to check up, and that might just be enough for you to just hold that position. So good defensive battle right there for the 303. You could have won if you put Bezzy in all 4 stints. Maybe, but then if you could do that, the rest of the teams could put their ringers in too, right? So, you know, he is so quick, though. He is so quick. He's absolutely moving in that 27 car right now. I want to go through the field. I want to go see what else is happening. We know there's more battles starting to kind of close in and develop here, but boy, oh boy, this battle for this final podium position with that 27 car just adding some excitement into the mix. I mean, we can't leave this. We just can't leave this. This is just too good. And I mean, this FGR team, they have put it all on the line here. They have left absolutely nothing on this racetrack today, not a thing. So I mean, no matter what happens for this car today, they should be very proud of themselves today, because it has been one doozy of a race for them today. There we go, drag race. As we head down the hill here, we're heading into the bend, and is Harlech going to get it done? He's on the outside, he's on the tough line here. Can he hold the pace? No, FGR is going to defend it again. He is on the better line there, so Harlech took a little look there, tried to fake him out. No bite from the 303 car. That actually kind of cost Harlech a little bit of time there, just trying to fake him out there. He loses just touch a smite little bit there. The 303 still holding strong in that final podium position, but boy, Harlech is starting to give him the business here a little bit. He's adding the pressure. He continues to try and accumulate a little extra pressure, getting a position here, getting a nose there, making him hold that line, making him defend that position here. At some point, does the 303 crack? Poor RAT Motors just losing it over here. Don't lose your lunch, Ray. Don't lose your lunch. It'll be okay. Oh, and he's closed right in, right on the rear bumper, almost pushing in the exhaust pipe in the rear end of that 303 Porsche. Harlech, he means business right now. Harlech's done messing around. He wants that position. He wants around, and he wants it right now. He's looking for an opening at 303. FGR knows it. Semi-defensive line there. He sticks that car in the middle of the racetrack. Harlech has no opportunity there. Just stays in behind. And the 27 car, he's like, yeah, I'm here, boys. This is a great show. Where's my popcorn? He just got front row seats. He's got the best house in the he's got the best seat in the house right now, that 27 car. Best seat in the house. Should we watch it from the 27? Maybe we should watch it from the 27. Let's jump in. Oh, wait, hold on. 27 7th? Let's jump on board with the 27 car here, as he's right tucked in behind Harlech. Now let's watch it from his point of view right now. So this is the 27 car. He's a lap down to these two cars. Harlech moves out down the left side to get the pass. And we're side by side as we head into Clark's Bend. Oh, super deep on the brakes. And no, FGR made the mistake. There it is. Pass made, and we are going to tag it. We're going to jump here, and we are going to go watch that again via full screen here. So there it is. The pass finally done here from Harlech. He finally added enough pressure. The mistake finally got made from the 303 car. There's shot really wide, going deep on the brakes into Clark's Bend there. And that was enough for Harlech to get the job done. So he forces the outside position here. Deep on the brakes as FGR trying to defend that. Shoots wide on the exit, almost bitting the car there. Gets it slowed down. Harlech takes the position, and FGR losing a decent amount of time right there. Tough one right there, but great battle between Harlech and Le Briver there. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic. There we go. Ray's excited now. You feeling better there, darling? All right, 2 minute gap now from second to third place. I mean, the 111 and the 224 car, they're bringing this thing home at this point here. Don't need to do anything differently. Don't need to change anything. Literally just need to stick to the plan. Don't overdrive the car. Don't make the big mistake. Harlech, he's been fighting for his life here for this final podium position. We just seen that massively hard battle between him and the 303 car, and I don't know if this battle's done yet. I'm not going to count that FGR team out yet. They may re-attack for this position here, so you're going to have to settle in a little bit there after that little bit of a mistake. Potentially breaks driver out of their rhythm, rattles your cage a little bit, so to speak, but these guys have been moving very fast all day long, so 5 seconds is the gap. Let's see what they can do with it. All right, 27 car obviously has made his way around there too as well, and is still sitting tucked in behind Harlech, so that might be game plan there from the 27 car. We've got the 73 ERS team here in 5th place. In no man's land right now is the best way to make explain it. He's just kind of in clean air. He's running his laps, doing the best he can with what he's got to work with right now. See if he can chip away, make sure that 54 car in my team esports doesn't close the gap. 19 seconds isn't a massive gap, but as the time continues to tick down, it's starting to become a decent gap here, more so of a comfortable cushion now than it is a cushion. But as these tires wear down, and these teams are probably forced to start getting on some slower compound tires, mediums and hards, it could get a little interesting. All right, Jelly Racer still chilling right in behind our third place driver, the number 1 car here for Esports Race Asylum. Again, just chilling. He got a little bit wide there coming out of Sheen curve there, but he got it together, tucks right back in behind that slipstream of Harlock, and just staying in a comfortable range, half a second, 3/4 of a second gap. It's just enough for the car to keep enough clean air, not to have dirty air really affect the turn in too much. Smart driving right there from such a good patient boy. Doesn't affect the car's turn in too much, allows you to keep an optimal racing line and try to maximize your pace. So pole sitter here in 8th place has 14 seconds in behind Jelly Racer right now, but should be good to go the duration of the stint. Shouldn't have to make any pit stops, so that could potentially be free time gain for anybody that's going to have to make that late race pit stop here. Hard to say. Like I said, we've seen these drivers really stretch these soft tires out a long ways here today. The sun is starting to set here at Brands Hatch, which means it's not gleaming down on the racetrack. That track surface isn't blazing hot, just chewing the rubber off these tires as quickly anymore. So the drivers are getting a little bit more distance out of these tires now. The car's a little bit cooler, which means it's probably running a little bit faster, and it's probably saving a little bit better fuel because it's under cooler conditions. However, that also means the track temperature is dropping. It's going to make the surface slipperier, and the drivers do need to make those adjustments here as well. I think it would tell me the track temperature if I went back to the lobby and looked, but I don't want to do that, so. Mainly because it just messes up everything we got going on here. Alright, so Harlock's doing a good job. 7 seconds now the gap over the FGR 303 Porsche here. FGR settled back in here now for sure, but a little bit of a hurdle to jump there right now. The racing squad here now up into 5th place. The 73 car has been all up and down this field here today, and now they're sitting in 5th place. So it's a very good finish here if they can settle in at a bare minimum right here in 5th place. But they are chipping away at the FGR team up in front. But it is a 50-second gap. That is a lot of time to make up in roughly about 30 minutes of race time remaining here today. So it might be a slightly tall order. What is new? Just imagining things, ladies and gentlemen. We're just taking a look at something behind the scenes there. I thought I'd seen a change on something, but my eyes were deceiving me a little bit. Alright, so the gap is shrinking here in the race lead. Now, this is interesting. It was at 42 seconds. Now it's at 39. So what happened here to Icon? He must have made some form of a mistake, had a little slide, had a little lock up, something like that. Look, I mean, 3 seconds in a couple laps is a good chunk of time. So, oh, it looks like ERS too may have just secured potentially. Currently, I believe they have fastest lap overall in the race, and they definitely are holding fastest lap in this particular session. So I believe that the Elite Racing Squad has just taken the overall fastest lap. I can't confirm that for sure, but I believe that's the fastest lap I've seen today. He is on the charge. The 224 is definitely on the charge. The question is, do either one of these two drivers up front need to make an additional pit stop before the end of the race? They still have a few laps to log in on those soft tires yet, so there may be a strategy coming into play here, so we'll see. I mean, Jensen definitely needs to close up more of that gap here before this potential sequence happens. That's for sure. So let's let's see what happens. It's shaping up to be an interesting race finish here today. I mean, Bezzi is just absolutely chewing away at that FGR team here right now, too. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Inferno Motorsports here. Jelly Racer starting to apply some pressure onto my team esports. Got 54 Mercedes, so is that right? Yeah, that's right. We got Harlech in the middle here. Right, that's what's going on. So, good strategy here by Infernal Motorsports. I mean, just sit here, chill with one of the podium sitters. He's clearly got the pace to sit there with them, and he's going to get that position, obviously, due to the pit stop from the Mercedes there. But I think we were maybe 2 or 3 laps away from seeing the 27 car take advantage of the slipstream of Harlech right there and literally just get a free battle just from sitting in behind the third place driver, maintaining that pace. So I got to tell you what, the strategy that the 27 car is playing right now is working. He is closing up these gaps, and you know, maybe they can catch FGR if they can continue to sit in behind the number 1 car here. Potentially, yeah. I mean, we're still sitting at 26 laps remaining, including the lap we're on. I don't think their fuel is in the car for that to begin with what I'm seeing right now. I don't think there's 26 laps of fuel left in this car. So yeah, I think we're seeing a pit stop for sure coming from the 111 team. And I mean, I don't foresee the 224 car getting the distance here either. He's got better tires and better fuel, but again, I don't think there's 26 laps of fuel in this 224 car either. So I actually foresee a pit stop coming from both these drivers yet here before the end of the race today. Harlech's in better shape here. But I mean, 220-minute gap, that's a big gap. He's not going to make all that up with just one extra pit stop, but it will, you know, gain him 25, 30 seconds. So I think that Harlech is bearing any real major complications up front, potentially in the best he's going to get here today for the number 1 car, but they will take a podium finish here today, I'm sure, all things said and done. But that's what it's looking like in my opinion. I think they got enough there to go the distance at this point. FGR has enough to go to the distance for sure, but they are on a slightly slower compounded tire with those racing mediums here, but that could play into effect when those soft tires start to wear down on the drivers in front. So, I mean, FGR is not out of this equation yet. ERS 46 seconds in behind FGR. They definitely seem like they're closing in a little bit here, but it's a big gap. It's a big gap with only 26 racing laps remaining. We'll see what they do though, and they're probably going to end up having to make a stop as well. So unfortunately for ERS here, I think that charge for another position may be out of the question, and then they might actually be in danger of losing one here to the 27 car as well. The 27 car can go the distance here, it looks like, for the rest of this race, so he's in a good position to actually potentially gain a position on the 5th place driver up ahead of him here. And if he continues to pace the number 1 car, like I said, there's even maybe a potential shot at 4th place here for these guys yet, but I think they got enough to go the distance. Pole sitters definitely got enough in the sector 7 car here to go the distance. They've used up all their soft tires, I believe, so they are racing out those medium tires here at the end. And I mean, he's had a good pace, but getting positions here is going to be a little bit tough when you're racing against those soft tire runners and you got 20 seconds to make up. So it could be the best that sector 7 team can see here today potentially, but racing is racing. Anything can happen. This is all just theory crafting right now. My team esports, I call it educated guessing, I guess, here at the 54 car, 11 seconds in behind pole sitter. It definitely has enough in there to go the distance, but has opted to go on the racing hard tires, so I'm assuming that they are out of soft and medium tires at this point, and that's just what is left in their garage. And that should be enough to hopefully keep the 66 car from fully gaining position, and it looks like they may or may not have enough tire there to get the distance, so definitely some stories developing here. But yeah, as far as the leaders go, I definitely say that they're going to have to pit, and we're going to see them come out on medium or hard tires, whatever it is that they have left in their garage. So big enough gaps for them to be able to come out on the hard tires. However, though, if the race leader's going to come out on the hard tires and Prima comes out on, say, medium tires, because they have a set of mediums left and the other team doesn't. This is all theory crafting. You know, there is potential there for that potentially to swap, because I mean that's going to be a second and a half potential difference per lap, and you spread that over, say, 15 laps. I mean, all you gotta do is do the math. That gives you about 32 seconds, and the gap is 39 seconds currently. So, I mean, we gotta wait and see. All we can do is wait and see what they got left in the garage with tire compounds. I've been trying to track it the best I can here, but off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you exactly what everybody's used here today. All I know is the S7R car has used all their soft allocations, trying to make up for the technical malfunction and the loss of time in stint 2. They lost 3 minutes on the race leader due to that technical malfunction. So, I mean, they made up as much track time as they could while they had the tires available to them, and now they're just playing the race out at this point. Get the car home, get it across the checkered flag is the important thing here for those guys. Again, they were plagued with that kind of issue last season. It definitely was a determining factor on how their placement was last season, and struggling with a little bit of the same thing here again this season, but not quite on the scale of last season. So they don't quite have all the kinks worked out yet, but boy oh boy, when they get those kinks worked out, that is going to be a car that we are going to be talking about in the front half of this pack racing week in and racing week out throughout the rest of the year. So if they get that part figured out, they get the technical issues in that car figured out, and you know, every race it seems like they lose one stint due to some kind of malfunction with the car on a technical basis, that, you know, that just hurts the momentum a little bit. So they're on the back foot, they got to chase through, they rebuild that momentum, they come into the next racing round, and it's a repeat and rinse cycle. But thankfully this season has been a lot less of a repeat and rinse for them. So once they get that buttoned up and they stop seeing that technical issue in their racing car, they're going to be top 3, top 4 contenders without a question of a doubt. So season is young yet. We're just getting into it. The drivers are probably just getting settled into the series, the way the series is working, all the rhythm of the series, the pace of the race, the pace of the drivers, the competition on track. Coming into the round 4, we start seeing some very calculated racing. You can start seeing these guys, gals on the very top end of their game, and it's going to be game on. Friendly competition is always the best kind of competition, because you never want your friend to be better than you, right? So it always gives you that little extra drive and determination to be just that much better, work that much harder, practice that much more. All right, so Harlech's done a good job. 16-second gap here over the 4th place car. I mean, he's not looking back right now. FTR, no man's land right now. 15 seconds in front, 45 seconds in behind. ERS, you're going to have to make a pit stop here. They're probably going to lose at that position to Inferno Motorsports, potentially also the Sector 7 Racing. We'll go check on those gaps in a moment. Definitely going to lose at the 27 car there, I think. No, they should be good on the Sector 7 car. They got enough gap there, enough cushion to cover a pit stop on the Sector 7 car. But it's definitely going to draw pole sitter in much, much closer to the back end of that racing car once that pit stop happens. So there could be battle there for 6th place for pole sitter potentially once Bezzy does make that stop. My team esports here, 17 seconds in behind pole sitter. Pole sitter doesn't need to pit though, so it's kind of up to them to pick up the pace, but they are on that racing hard compound here. So again, interesting decision that happened there. And minute 22 in behind is the GT Finland Racers, the Shadow. Great driver for this team. He's been very huge for this team all season long, last season as well, and even the previous season before that. They've been here right from day one. So yeah, I mean, he's giving it everything he's got. Just a tough day out there for the 66 car today. chat. We're just taking a quick peeksies here at a couple things. I've got this very OCD habit of just back-checking audios and everything on the stream periodically as these things are going. Years of experience has told me that, you know, you can't guess or predict when you're going to have little audio faux pas or streaming software malfunctions. They just kind of happen unexpectedly. So I like to kind of be a little bit anal retentive on the situation and try to make sure everything is running as efficient as possible. It didn't go perfect for us, unfortunately, this morning, as one end of the aspect didn't quite work out very well, but you know, we got it sorted like we always do here, and again, get the content out to everybody. So you know, just want to make sure that we get it nice and clean for you guys watching at home. I really appreciate your support. It's been a tough day for you guys and gals and viewers too. You've been jumping around YouTube, making sure you're catching all the moments of the race. We really do appreciate y'all for doing that. Much love, much love. You know, it's tough and you hate to see things go wrong in the middle of a big production day, a big race day like this, but you know, the staff of International Racing Organization is great. You know, they're always on top of it, and in one way or another, we always have a solution or an answer, whether it be ideal or not, but we always make it work. So teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, what can we say? So we did see blue flag exchange there up front with Harlech. Did make their way around the 73 ERS car. Good clean exchange there, right there. There was no hesitation on the 73's part. First available chance they had to let them through, they did so, and they continue on with their race. But that has made things a little bit more interesting right there. Battle for 5th place. I had to think about that for a second. So our race leader has hit pit lane. As we suspected, they didn't have enough there to get the distance. I mean, all you have to do is look, you can tell. So they are in pit lane. When are we going to see the 224 car come in? We're not going to see them come in quite yet. I don't think they have enough. I think they're going to have to make a last 10 lap dash pit stop. I really do. I mean, I keep thinking it looks like they might stretch it, but I don't think they have the fuel and tire there. I really don't. All right. The 303 Porsche, the FGR team, currently sitting 20 seconds behind 3rd place, a minute ahead of the ARS team. But, oh, there we go, battle on. Just as we're going to check things out, we got BMW versus BMW drag racing right on down, and is going to be the 27 car getting it done. Moves up into 5th place there. Is that right? No. Is that right? It might be right. I think that's right. We got a tag. We'll go watch. I'm pretty sure. Having a brain moment right there. Yeah, that was exactly what we saw. I think the live timing was tricking me there a little bit. Got a great run out of Cersei's. Gets a run up that small straight and just utilizes that slingshot engaged right there. A little bit of toe potentially maybe from Harlock up in front there too on the tail end of that. And coming into the turn, I mean, he just had enough clearance there to just get an optimal line to hold that pass. Otherwise, he might have been stuck on the outside there, and that might have been a different situation there from 27 to 73. 73 might have been able to hold the line there, but 27 getting the job done, moves up into P5, and the Elite Racing Squad here, the 73 car, dropping down a position into P6 here. So this late in the race, we're still seeing good, healthy battles in and amongst the racetrack there, and it is going to be the Racing Hard tire for our 111 car, OVO Esports, with 17-second gap currently over the 224 car, but pretty certain that this car is going to be making an additional pit stop at this point yet, so I think that it is still well in control for our first place team. We'll have to wait and see. In my opinion at the moment right now, if I'm the crew chief and I've got a set of medium tires sitting on the wall right there, I am screaming at this guy to get in the pit lane now. Get him on those medium tires, get him out there, and see if he can make up that time. Like I said, he could probably gain a second to a second and a half time over the hard tire on the medium tire here right now. There's still about 17 and a half laps remaining in the race. When you do the math on that, I mean, we got a discussion there. We got a discussion there. Oh, now we got some gaps. Okay. We got some gaps happening here. All right, so it's Icon here, and we said it all depends what they have left in their garage for tires. It's very evident that the 111 car only has hard tires left in the garage, so that is what they've put on for their shoes here for the last little bit. And, you know, 20 laps on the hard tires, that's a bit of a slog. So it is the 224 car now in pit lane. Here we go, pit stop being made. What has he got? No, there are only racing hards left in the 224 garage as well. And you can just see the 54 Mercedes getting a lap back on that 224 car. So no tire advantage there, unfortunately, for the 224 team here. NWR Motorsports is 35 seconds behind, so they did gain some time, though. However, staying out an extra lap or two on the soft tire compared to that hard tire, so they did pick up about 2.5 seconds with that strategy on the overcut. But, 38 seconds, that is a tough one when it's hard tire versus hard tire. So the plot thickens. The plot thickens. All right, 2.7 seconds. The 27 car is checking out here real quick on the 73 car, but again, we got different tire compounds on the racetrack here. We're seeing a very wide variety of tire compounds at the end of this race, and I kind of suspected that's exactly what we were going to see. I was hoping that the gap's going to be a little bit tighter, so that made things a little bit more interesting at the end of the race, but it is what it is. This might be the first race this season. We don't have a race to the finish line for the top three. You can see a little bit of dirt coming off the curb there as they come out too as well, so a little dusty here on the racetrack now after 7 hours and 45 minutes of pretty hard racing here from Brands Hatch in the United Kingdom today. So the 224 car, eating a little bit of grass there. Definitely not what you want to do with those hard tires. That is sketchy. And you can see he's still settling into those racing hard tires. It's a tough transition when you go from racing softs to racing hards at the speeds that these guys are driving at. I couldn't do it, so kudos to them. That's why we've hung up the race car keys and stuck to the microphone. Woo-hoo! You can see how sketchy those hard tires are. Even our race leader here, the 111 car, these guys have been well in control of this race for the last 3.5 hours, maybe even longer in this race. You can even see the struggles they're having jumping onto those racing hard tires here. They're no joke. They are a tough tire to maintain pace on and keep on the racetrack under these conditions. So, tough business out there for these drivers. Harlech is doing a great job of trying to secure down that final podium position. He's got the gap almost 25 seconds over the FGR Porsche here at this point. Moving, grooving, looking in control of that final podium position. 1 minute is the gap between FGR and Inferno Racing. Only 9 teams left. Yeah, we started with 12. We had 2 teams not make the grid today. We had the Portugal All-Star team have a technical malfunction in stint number 1 about 30 minutes into the race, which pulled them out of the race for the day. And we had a disconnect from the Project 1 racing team, and then we had a very late disconnect in this stint from the Apex Motorsports racing team, which was currently running 3rd when they had the disconnect. So it's been a little bit of a technical plagued racing weekend for all parties here. Our production crews had some technical malfunctions today, and our racers have had some technical malfunctions here today as well. So it is a weekend of technical malfunctions for sure. Maybe the wiring is just getting too old at Brands Hatch, and then the production truck's fancy equipment was just too much for it to handle, and it overloaded the booth. I mean, I don't even know where to start with the production truck today. The boys got themselves into a little bit of trouble last night or something, and they're sleeping on the job. I'm not sure what's happening there with our production truck today, but it's definitely down for maintenance right now, that's for sure. I mean, what happened? I mean, if we're going to be real honest about it, I'm probably going to say Brands Hatch happened. I mean, this is a tough racetrack for GT3 cars, especially at the pace these guys are racing. So, I mean, Brands Hatch happened. I mean, Brands Hatch is wearing down the race cars, man, wearing down the drivers, right? I mean, everybody laughs about Brands Hatch, but there's a reason why probably 70% of the sim racing community hates racing on this racetrack because of how difficult this racetrack really is. It's not the fact that it's not a good racetrack. I think Brands Hatch is an amazing racetrack. Personally, I love racing this racetrack myself. But you know, it's a difficult racetrack, and especially in these conditions. I mean, you're non-stop turning, and I mean, you miss one braking point, you lock up one time. I mean, you absolutely cost yourself a second and a half around here. That's so crucial on a short track. So, I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, this race, either. I mean, they're really being put to the test here this weekend. So, Brands Hatch happened in a sense as well. I mean, nothing against the racetrack. It's just, it goes to show it, you know, how such a, what seems to be simple-looking racetrack can really provide for a difficulty factor. Oh, I love it here, too. I was just so excited to see a Brands Hatch on the schedule this season. Absolutely excited. Got some great racetracks on the calendar this season too. I mean, we know we've had a couple new racetracks added into the game since last season as well. So I believe one of those tracks made the hit list there this season. I think Gas Marina may have made the list here this season. So, and it's one beautiful racetrack. Gran Turismo's haven't really designed that track beautifully. You know, obviously with the graphics and the power of visuals like Gran Turismo does provide within the game. I mean, they really made that track look absolutely stunning. So, you know, they did a great job on the racetrack. It's not an easy racetrack, though. It's difficult. You know, it's a love-hate relationship with that racetrack. It's designed for high-speed, high downforce car racing. So, you know, it's a workout. It is a workout. Top 8 are all different nationalities. International Racing Organization completed it. Ah, ha, ha. You're right. There's a different flag on every driver. Look at that. Yeah. All 9. Yeah. Completely different flag. We got the hometown hero right now. The UK flag rocking and rolling here. British flag here. The 224 car holding down second place. We got the Italian stallion here in third place. I can't remember what the first flag is. Don't hate me, chat. Don't hate me. We've got our French driver here as well, and then we've got another Netherlands, Denmark, Netherlands. The two flags that look the same. I've been out of school for a long time. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. And then we've got a Belgium and German flag, and then we've got our Finnish flag as well here. So yeah, no, definitely variation. I think one of these is. If I don't know, I'm not even gonna guess. I already don't know my flags. Apparently, I'm too old. Forgot everything I learned. Polish, Dutch, French. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. I believe the fastest I've seen was a 122.2 in stint number 2 or 3. So I'm pretty sure Bezzy's holding overall fastest lap. I can't confirm that because I don't know officially, but I'm fairly certain that that's the case. I agree with that, definitely. That doesn't surprise you. 122.5 for stint 1. Geez, yeah, it was a 122.2, I think, in stint 3. Stint 2. I am Canadian, eh? You know it. I like my Tim Hortons coffee and my maple syrup, just like every true Canadian. And we ride mooses to work because that is our best form of transportation. No, I joke. That would be pretty awesome, though. Just jump on your pet moose and saddle up and go for a ride. Confirmed, that is the fastest lap of the race. Oh, the race fans know, and the racers know. I mean, these guys are tracking, they know. I mean, it's a crucial point, right? So they're definitely keeping track of that. All right, well, our race is spread out a little bit. I was hoping we'd see it tighten up, but it looks like it's spread out. That's so sad. I was hoping for that big, massive finish to the podium for the podium finish this year again, but I don't think we're going to get it today. But I mean, GG's to all our racers. I mean, unless anything massively drastic changes, we're kind of looking at the finishing order at the moment. So we still have this happening here, 4.4 seconds. I think 27 car's still opening the gap, though I don't think he's really giving it away. 21 seconds, 26. Yeah, so the closest thing to a fight we may have here is for 5th and 6th place between the two BMWs right now. No points for fast lap this season. Oh, I take it back. Number 1 for Rovio is Austrian. Thank you. Austrian flag, thank you. I was unaware of that too, actually. Somehow I missed that document, I guess. Granted, I didn't like full read the document this season because I didn't have a team in racing this season, so I just kind of perused the document this season as a commentator just so I had enough of a gist of what was going on. So that's kind of on me. And there's a difference between reading the document and perusing the documents, right? So. Right, 4.4 seconds. I mean, that 73 is giving it everything they got there to try and close that gap back up to 27 up ahead here. And you know, we suspected we'd see a pit stop from potentially one of these cars, and it looks like we are going to see that. So Jelly Racer is going to give that position up to Bezzy here, it looks like, once he makes that pit stop. I guess the bigger question is, does he give it up to Pole Sitter here as well? Because Pole Sitter might be within striking distance. Oh, what do we have happening here? We got damage on the 224 Ferrari here, so boo-boo. A mistake, a chink in the armor here from the 224 car on those racing hard tires. Had front splitter damage there, had to make the extra pit stop, get that front nose cone replaced and fixed up, but no harm, no foul. It cost him a few seconds to the race leader overall, gave away a few seconds to Harlock in behind, but pretty big gap there, so no harm, no foul there. And if you're going to make the big mistake like that, or a little mistake like that that's going to cost you 20 or 30 seconds, you definitely want to make sure you've got a safe gap to do so. They had the safe gap, so they'll just continue on and take a sigh of relief with that one. All right, Pole Sitter is cooking here. Who's he closing in on? He is closing in on the FGR team here. So Pole Sitter looking to get a lap back on our 4th place driver here. And where is Pole Sitter here? They were 3.5 minutes in behind when they got back in, like 3:20. So they're 4:20 to 4:33 behind. So they've lost an additional lap so far in the stint, but again, keeping in mind that they had no soft tires left in their garage, and that's probably a deciding factor on that. So whoa, a sketchy moment right there for the 73 car, the ERS team, but they kept it together there, and I mean, they're closing in. They're going to get this position on Infinite Motorsports here because they are going to have to pit, but even if they didn't have to pit, I think they still had a potential battle plan here because the car's moving slow here. The car's moving slow, and I mean, they are stretching these soft tires right to the limit here. So I'm assuming that they have hard tires coming up next. Whew. 8 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. 8 laps. Is it 8? Actually, it's less. It's 6 because the race leader's on lap 82 here. So we're going to have to start paying attention. And I believe there's only a 3-minute checkered flag timer as well, so not every one of these drivers is going to complete the full 88 laps here today. But every racer right now that's remaining on the racetrack still has a car rolling, and hopefully at least gets a checkered flag here today. And I mean, in a race like today where we've seen so many teams and so many cars have troubles and end up behind the wall for the day, getting across this race finish line, getting across to take a checkered flag is, I think, an accomplishment all in itself here today, because we started with 12, we're down to 9. So definitely some plaguing issues here around Brands Hatch today for some of our teams. We're just going to go through the field. We're going to show some love to each of our racers here, kind of keep an eye on things, see if anything in the last second develops. You just never know. This is IRO after all. Things all of a sudden just happen. Alright, well, I mean, this isn't a positional battle, but it is still a lead lap, get a lead lap position back on a car kind of type battle. So, pole sitter here starting to close in on the FGR car, the 303 Porsche here. Again, just trying to get lap back on that car, trying to get a, you know, just doing what you do as a racer. You just keep pushing forward. If that means you got to pass a lead lap car because they're moving slower than you are, then that's what it means. So that's exactly the position that pole sitter is currently sitting in here with our number 7 Sector 7 Blazers. And at some point, he's going to try and find a way around here. He's had a couple of looks so far on the 303, but he hasn't made anything stick yet. But he also hasn't really tried to force anything here. He's being very patient. He knows that this isn't a positional battle, so there's no immediate urgency to force a move or take a risk here. And just smart driving right here from Sector 7. Alright, but it is Icon here, 45-second gap with that mistake made by the Ferrari there that doubled the gap back up, so a little bit less pressure, or a little pressure removed from our 111 car here, our current championship points leaders. We got NWR here. I mean, they've absolutely had a fantastic race. Brands Romantic Hatch. Lots of touchy here, that's for sure. Harlock here in 3rd place. We've got Feel Good Racing here again in 4th. Feeling the heat from Sector 7 pole sitter here, currently sitting in 7th place, and there it is. Our 27 car finally having to come in for that pit stop, does lose that position to the 73 car, so Elite Racing Squad moves up into 5th place with that pit stop from Jelly Racer, and who is coming in behind? That is our race leader coming in behind here, so blue flag situation right out of pit lane for the 27 car here as well. Pole sitter still applying some pressure here to try and get around our 4th place driver here, and again, not a positional battle, just trying to navigate around this car and continue on with his race essentially. Ooh, boy, the frames really dropped right there. That was close. That was close. Ooh, I thought we were gonna lose it there for a second. You've properly. You know what? That's all right, because I properly plugged production this morning. So, I mean, I think mine was worse, if I'm gonna be honest. I've got the big fail of the day, I think. I broke our production truck today, you know. I mean, I think that's a little bit worse. Maybe I shouldn't be allowed the production truck this season. I don't know. Every time I get near it, it seems to have something go wrong. Ghost has to stay a minimum distance away from production truck from now on from IRO, 150 feet. Can't be anywhere near it, can't touch a wire, can't even look at it. Yeah, no, I mean, there's some on the list, right? I mean, you can't say that there's not. That's for sure. I mean, it's a decent schedule this season, much like it was last season. There's a couple more mid-tier to short-tier tracks here yet on the schedule, so we're going to see some more good, close, tight-knit, fast-paced racing for sure this season yet. But, I mean, we can't take away from what these guys are capable of doing on the big race tracks either. So, I mean, all in all, it's just going to be an outright fun season. It's just going to be an outright fun season. It has been up to this point. Oh, a half-second penalty. You never like to go into pit lane with that, but it is what it is. So the Shadow now has made their pit stop here, and they've got just a few laps remaining. All right, so back on as a race leader. 3.5 laps to go here before the end. So, oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, my. That would be something. That would be something. I say we take a fan vote on 8 hours of Tsukuba. Make an amendment to change one of the tracks. I mean, if we're gonna get spicy, we could think about Horse Thief Mile or Goodwood. You know, there's a couple other good little shorties right there. Next season coming from IRO Drift Racing at Tsukuba. 8 hours of drifting. No, but I mean, big shout out to the committee, the staff, the organizers who put this stuff on every season here. I mean, trying to change it up, always trying to keep it fresh. You know, you got to do that, right? It's an important thing. So. I do not have quick access to the track list right now, so I do apologize for that. Oh yeah, don't forget about Alsace test course, right? The topless short, RO8. Oh, I think that's just mean. I honestly think that's just outright mean. I mean, Grand Valley Short could have been a good consideration, I guess, for a short track, I suppose, right? That could have been a spicy race, too. There's so many great tracks you can choose from now, honestly, in the game. It's hard to come up with a racing schedule suited to meet your racing needs, so to speak. There's always, you know, something that you think, oh, I should have had that there this time, right? Maybe next time. There's always that. I mean, it happens. You got so much to choose from. It does make it difficult sometimes. Well, I mean, if we're going to throw rain race and add the difficulty factor up, I mean, why are we not talking about Tokyo East? Come on. Dragon Trail Gardens reverse in the rain? I mean, we could just go on and on. Alright, final lap for our race leader here. We're going to stick in with our race leader. Obviously, the race leader is going to be our first driver to take the checkered flag here today. And it is a very hard-earned race victory here for the 111 car, the OVO Esports team. They are definitely in charge of this championship early on in the season here, and coming in with a championship points lead, and definitely going to be leaving with a little bit bigger championship points lead here today. So, great job here from the 111 car, and as we get about halfway around their final lap here, 8 hours at Brands Hatch, they are going to come out on the top of the podium, the big step. They get all the bragging rights here at Brands Hatch this season, and very hard earned and very well deserved here for the 111 car. It wasn't a freebie, that's for sure. It was not a freebie. They had to fight to get there, and then they had to maintain it. And just one more corner remaining here for the 111 car, and ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 GTEC Round 3, 8 hours of Brands Hatch winner is OVO Esports. Congratulations to them. Absolutely fantastic driving from that crew. And it is going to be our 224 car of NWR Motorsports coming in second place here today as well. Great drive from them. They looked absolutely solid out here today. One little mistake at the end of the race. I don't think that changes too much for them, however. Made it a little bit interesting, if anything. Made it a little exciting. Woke the driver up, most certainly. And it's going to be the 224 car here. Bringing it home, we see FGR coming across the line there in 4th place. We've got Polster did come across there in 7th place. So just a few cars remaining here to take the checkered flag, and it's going to be the 224 NWR Motorsports sitting second here on the podium today. Great finish by them, and again, really well-controlled race from them, and it's going to be the Esports Race Asylum team here. This third place position was definitely up for grabs for the whole race. It was really hard to say who was going to snag this P3, and you know, a lot of hard work and determination and head down and a little bit of luck, and it's going to be a P3 here for our defending champions, the Esports Race Asylum #1 Porsche. FGR 303 Porsche does knock it out in the 4th place here. The 73 car of Elite Racing Squad here now in 5th place. Great job done, great finish. Take advantage of a late strategy call here from the 27 Inferno Motorsports team, who are still going to bring this home in 6th place. So great finish there for them as well. Up and down race for the BMWs here today. Sector 7 is going to come home there in 7th position, and we'll get everything up for you guys and gals in just a moment's time here, as we have this lovely screen we can bring up for everybody next. 122.167 for Bezzy there as well. Fastest lap overall of the race this weekend. So great job to them. And all they get is bragging rights on that this season. So pole sitter for Sector 7, number 7 Porsche there, sitting in 7th place. So after everything all said and done, to come back to 7th place is a good recovery drive right there from Sector 7. And I mean, we're not surprised to see that from this team. We've seen a lot of that last year, and they're right back at the same old this year. That takes us down to number 54, my team, Mercedes, finishing in 8th place. We have GT Finland Racers, the 66 car, in 9th. It will be the AMS Motorsports team, the Apex Motorsports team, unfortunately finishing 10th there, dropping out from 3rd place with car issues. And Project One Racing didn't even make the driver swap there, as the car had to go behind the wall right as they were waiting for that pit stop sequence. You hate to see it, but it happens in racing, ladies and gentlemen, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. So congratulations to all the racers, to all the drivers. I want to say thank you first and foremost to all the great ladies and gentlemen that came in and viewed all of the different streams here today. We started off rough, we finished off strong like we always do, but it's always because of the support from the viewers. So we thank you, the racers, the families, and everybody in behind the scenes coming in and showing the love here on the stream. We honestly can't do it without you. You are the driving force behind what we do here, and we want to continue to get the content out as high quality and as efficient as possible. So we're going to continue to work our hardest to do so for everybody. Want to thank the organization, International Racing Organizations, admins, volunteers, stewarding staff, I mean, race control officials, lobby hosts, the streamers. There's so much going on behind the scenes on a race weekend. We can't do it without all those great men and women behind the scenes giving up their time to make sure that this happens. And I mean, thank you to the racers for putting on the show. These guys work hard out there to prepare for these races. They put in tons of practice, tons of time to give us the best show they can, to give us the best pace they can, and to show us why they are the top of the game in GT7, and they did not disappoint here today at Brands Hatch. Banging race, absolutely fantastic stuff. Lots of action through the full 8 hours of the event here today, and a great addition to the GTEC Endurance Championship was Brands Hatch this weekend at the United Kingdom. Iconic racetrack. It deserves to get love when it can, and they did not disappoint here today one bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to have interviews for everybody today just because of our issues. I believe that is correct. Just let me double check one more time before I say that officially. Yes, so we'll just kind of talk about what happened here a little bit and send it off. So much love. You can shut the lobby down whenever you feel like, Jack. You don't need to wait on my behalf. We've seen some great racing here today. There was a little bit of Rubbins racing. You're going to expect to see that on a short track with narrow races, very tough corners to battle on here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too malicious. A little bit of paint swap, some tires got knocked around, some dents got put into the bodywork. Nothing the crews behind the scenes can't have fixed and ready for the next championship season. For our teams that had to call it early, didn't make the grid, they'll have those cars back up and running, and we'll see them in the next racing round next month as well. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you all matter. That's the most important thing. If you're struggling out there, we don't want to see you struggling. We don't want to hear you struggling. Yeah, do we have a channel? If we have a channel, I'm totally game. If we have a channel, I'm totally game. I just don't see a voice channel on the server right now, so that's why I wasn't sure if we were doing it. But if the drivers are willing, I'm willing. Am I just missing a voice channel? I don't think so. Because we can't do it through the normal program, because that's just not working right now. But all right, I'll keep saying what I was saying there for a second. Remember, everybody, you all matter. If you're struggling in life, please reach out. There's local hotlines in your area, wherever it is you live worldwide. Don't hold it in. Don't keep it in. Don't let it affect your life to the point where you make irrational decisions. Seek out a conversation. Get the help you need. Get back into the community and just get racing. Do what you enjoy. You got to find what you love. You got to stick to the people that care about you, and you got to get all the bad juju away from you. We care about our community here, and we just want to see everybody thrive to the best of their ability, no matter what their situation is. We use this as our vent. A lot of us, we use sim racing as our escape from those things that we just are having a hard time with in life. And those hour or 2 hours you're on the racetrack, chilling with your friends or racing for competition. It just takes your mind off of things, and sometimes that's all you need to really make that difference in that thought process and how you're feeling. So. Get involved, find a great community, and just have some fun. And clear your head for a couple hours, and you'd be surprised at the change that can make in your life. And sometimes it helps you see things more clearly as well. So there is an interview channel. I'm just not seeing it. There it is. All right, fantastic. All right, so to our top 3 teams, if you have a representative you'd like to send in, feel free, jump into the interviews chat. You should see me sitting in there, and we'll have a little conversation. If not, we'll send this off for the weekend, and we'll see everybody in a few weeks' time. So just bear with here as we give our drivers time. Again, we have to go to Plan B on the program here today, so some things are kind of running on the fly, i.e. podium interviews here right now, and give us some time. We'll give us some time. But I mean, great racing at Brands Hatch. You hate to see the tough times for their teams, the drivers, but you like to see the resilience from the drivers and the teams that are having the tough times too. I mean, we see some great comeback drives here today, and I know that some of the teams that had worst case scenario happen here today, they're going to come back stronger and better and faster, and with a goal in mind next racing round. So. That is absolutely fantastic. All right, so we've got a race asylum and we've got our 224 representative here. So fantastic. Let's start with our number 1 car, the Esports Race Asylum team here. It was an interesting day for our Esports Race Asylum team here today, our defending champions. They started in the mid-pack, the latter part of the mid-pack. They kind of just played a strategy. They looked like they were maybe struggling a little bit, but then they turned it up, right up in the middle of the race, and I'm assuming that is just strategy kicking in, whatever their plan was. The pace started to kick in, and they made an incredible push for the podium. And as defending champions, obviously, you want to be stacking up points. You want to defend your title, and I think that all things said and done here today, I think that our number 1 crew, the Esports Race Asylum team, is probably pretty happy with that result, but we will leave it up to Harlock to let us know what it is that's going through the minds of that number 1 car here today. Great job out there. Great run at the end. Nice finish. Talk us through how that was today.
Yeah, thank you. You pretty much summarized very well. We started mid-pack, yeah, not great of quali, but it was so close yesterday. I was pretty happy with my lap anyway, so. But then in stint 1 we managed to get some position, and then also through using strategies we managed to climb up to P4 in stint 2. Then yeah, we have a bit of a difficult time in stint 3, but then we came back strong to finish in a podium position. A bit of a roller coaster of a day.
Absolutely, and I mean, you had your second driver come in, Jakey, come in there, and he really put out a great stint for you guys. He really made up some track position, and you guys kind of gave a little bit of a back away into the third stint, and then you jumped in behind the wheel there and really just seemed to lock in, and you pushed hard, you battled hard there. You had just some really good hard battles there, and I mean, this is a little bit of a different style of race from IRO this season. The short, tight, narrow racetrack with GT3 cars here today. How was that experience for this style of racing at a track like Brands Hatch?
Yeah, I mean, this track is so narrow. I struggled a lot in the last stint, managed to pass the FGR boys. I was staying behind them a couple of laps, also with the blue flag cars. I was struggling a bit, but I mean, it's always the same thing, keep focus, push, and then in the end the result came.
Absolutely. I mean, result you guys obviously are looking for, like I said, as defending champions. Definitely trying to make your way back up the point standings a little bit to try and close that gap to that what seems to be unstoppable 111 team here right now. They're very quick, but experience has told us here at IRO that they're usually the ones that jump up in the early lead in the championship season. Find out that it's not that simple come the end of the season to hold that championship lead. So we'll see how they continue to handle that pressure as the season goes on. But the number one car, ladies and gentlemen, definitely hunting for a repeat here now with a great race finish here in round 3. So, I mean, we move into another race in round 4 in a month's time. I honestly cannot find a schedule at the moment because I'm just not with it, so I'm not sure what track we got coming up next. But we know it's going to be a doozy because it's IRO, and we know it's going to be difficult. So, do you guys change your strategy up a little bit? We have the tire requirements this season as well, which kind of adds an extra bit to what you guys have to think about. How was that dealing with the minimal amount of soft tire compounds this weekend for you guys? Was it easy to manage, or was it a little bit tricky? Hmm. We might have lost him there. All right. Well, nonetheless, we'll thank our third place team here, our Esports Race Asylum. Great race from them, and again, defending champions, showing why that they are defending champions. A good, strong finish to get back to that podium here today, and massive congratulations to the number one cars. So great race from them. And you know, sometimes all you got to do is, like Harlech said, you just got to put your head down and you just got to keep pushing forward. And sometimes the results just happen from the hard work, and that was definitely a good case, I think, here for the number one team today. But you know, these other two guys here that are standing on the slightly bigger steps on the podium right now. We'll move to our NWR Motorsports car, the 224 Ferrari. It's the only Ferrari in the grid this weekend. Man, that car was fast out there. I feel like the only disadvantage I think that these guys really had on the racetrack today was a little bit of the tire wear on that car was just a hair more aggressive than those Porsches that he was chasing down. But you know, you guys were in the thick of that heat, that battle for first place for the first half of the race, and then you guys were just kind of trying to close that gap after a couple of crazy things happened. Driver team disconnecting there in the third or fourth hour. Yeah, you know, everything jumbled around a little bit, and you ended up on the same tire strategy at the end of the race. So, I mean, great racing from you guys. How was it under these conditions here at Brands Hatch today for you guys, and how do you guys feel like your race went today?
Yeah, I think overall we can be pretty happy with that result. Um, with the strategy, I think we did most things right. Possibly stint one. Um, Lewis might have gone a little bit early on the soft tyres, and I think that cost him towards the end of the first stint. That meant that Oval could get past us, and then from there on, it was hard to catch them. The tyre wear on the car was good, admittedly. I think the tyre wear more comes down to the driver, how much they're pushing. You know, if you're going to push, then it was impossible to make, you know, a good 45 laps on softs work. But if you saved well, then there was no issue really. As you saw with Mumi, for example, he managed to do a one stopper on two sets of softs. So
Yeah, I mean that was interesting. We were actually quite surprised, even in the booth there, to see that some of the teams were able to really stretch that soft compounded tire out quite a bit longer than we definitely anticipated on seeing. I mean, we know that Brands Hatch can kind of eat your tires up a little bit, but we also know that it just recently changed, you know, the tire physics in a sense in the game. A couple of months ago now, I guess maybe 3. So, I mean, how has it been adjusting with some of the changes they've made from the beginning of the season till now? And I mean, how is adding the what's the word I'm looking for here? Tire amounts of sets of tires you guys can use in a race. I mean, how is that to manage as well? I'm sure you guys have your game plan when you come in pre-race to what you expect that's going to happen from this driver to this driver to this driver for the tires. But then things happen during a race, and sometimes you got to change that strategy up. So I mean, how hard is it to manage that? Not only as the racer behind the wheel, but your crew behind the scenes, you know, relaying the information. I mean, was it really tough for this race this weekend, or was it fairly easy to manage?
I would say compared to Bathurst, it was easier. With Brands Hatch, you get a shorter pit loss, so it meant that if worst case scenario you weren't able to make your strategy work, for example, you couldn't do two sets of softs, then there's always the option of going on to hards for a few laps right at the end, and you wouldn't suffer too much terms of time lost because well, the pit loss for only changing tyres is about 10 seconds. So there was no harm done if you couldn't make the strategy work compared to other tracks, if that makes sense. But yeah, like you mentioned, with when it comes to something going wrong in the races and having to switch it up a little bit, it does take a little bit of work, a little bit of teamwork to make sure everyone knows who's doing what, how we can readjust things to make the optimal strategy.
And I mean, you guys, yourself and the 111 car there had to make that late race pit stop there, to the hard tire transition. So I mean, you guys have been so cruising, you're flying at an incredible pace on these soft tires. They're starting to wear down, they're starting to feel a little iffy. But then you jump onto those absolutely just horrible, ice cold, slippery, don't have any grip for nothing for like 10-lap hard tires. I mean, how is it transitioning from that really fast grippy tire to having basically like it feels like you're driving on ice for the next 10 minutes? I mean, how is it to really, as a driver, get your mind to immediately transition to that? Hold on, I got to brake a little earlier. I got to really be careful here. How do you kind of go through that process when you go from such a different in pace on your tires?
Well, the thing is with this track was that when you come off the worn soft tires and you go onto the hards, it turns out it was quite similar in the way it drove overall. That I'd argue a little bit less traction on the hards in my experience with the Ferrari. But again, the pace was pretty similar on dead softs compared to fresh hards. So it wasn't too bad readjusting. Maybe if I'd done, let's say, doing laps on soft things, gone onto the hards, yeah, it would be a lot more difficult. But that wasn't too much of an issue today, thankfully.
Absolutely, an intense moment there for you guys. Had a little bit of a mistake there that had to come in for a late pit stop for damage there, but thankfully you guys had the time gap in your favor there, so probably weren't too concerned about that. But a driver always hates to make that mistake, nonetheless. But great race from you guys, and I mean, any shout outs or any thank yous you want to throw before we move to our race winner here?
Yeah, honestly, a massive thanks just to the rest of the team, everyone that drove today, Lewis in the qualifying in stint one, Kelsa stint two, Yumi stint three. Again, these guys have made sacrifices and adjustments to the weekend plans to make sure that we can go ahead with our weekend. So, like I mentioned, big thanks to them for helping out and being a part of the team.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic job from the NWR Motorsport crew, the 224 Ferrari, ladies and gentlemen. A very strong second place finish here, and round 4 N24 Nürburgring. How you feeling?
I think we're feeling really good for that one, actually. We're hoping to get possibly a couple more reinforcements to our roster for that one. Well, the specifics on that you'll see it in a few weeks, but we're feeling confident for that one. We've got drivers for example, Miu Miu, who's driven the Nürburgring in GT World Series, so he knows how to handle the pressure of that circuit.
Absolutely, and I mean the competition in the field is so high this season. I mean, the smallest little mistakes can be really can really cost you time here this season. So, great racing out there, second place finish, and maybe next round is that extra step on the podium for you guys. You never know, but congratulations, and we can't wait to see what you guys bring to the NERB.
Very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of notable mentions we'll talk to here in just a few minutes, but we're going to head to our race winners first. We got to give our podium interviewees the immediate love here. So we've got the number 111 car, the OVO Esports Porsche. This thing has been very dominant all season long. They came into round number 3 as championship points leaders, and they're going to extend that championship points lead now after a very strong finish and win here at Brands Hatch. So first and foremost, you guys, congratulations. It was a very good race. I mean, you had to earn it. You had to battle for it. You had to fight to get up there. But once you got up there, you took control of that race. A little bit of luck, a couple of lucky bounces on your guys' side. And you cruised on your way to a race win there. So, I mean, talk us through how everything went for you guys today.
Yeah, I'll start. So, yeah, big thanks to Ovo, because I was basically split 2 with my team, and that was technically my first race in split 1, let's say. So big thanks to them. And yeah, as you said, we, let's say, dominated the whole race. So I think that's the most positive thing. In every stint, we aligned the strategy very well in terms of pace as well, and yeah, I'm very happy for the result, and yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. And anything that Icon wants to add to that?
I mean, it was a pretty cool race in my opinion. Even though I was sick, I had like normally I was supposed to do qualifying, but because I was really sick yesterday, my teammate had to jump in, Antonio. So I was sadly only able to do one stint, but in my opinion, it was still a really fun race.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you get yourself into a position where you're early battling for the race lead, it's heated competition, you're on a very short track like Brands Hatch, you manage to get out front, you get in that clean air, you open up that gap over a couple of hours. Does it change the mindset when you start to build a 30-second cushion, or is it just keep pushing until the team tells me to back off? I mean, what's the process there for you guys when you get into that position?
I'll let you talk,
Um,
Icon, if you want.
Sure. I mean, for me, it was mostly just push because I didn't really want to like go slowly as well because it was my only stint and I did want to like kind of enjoy it. But it's also so that you have a gap for anything after the race, so you're safe. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I mean, you guys are in the hot seat right now, and I mean, we've seen in the past two seasons, the early jump in the points leader to championship, where they really start to find pressure, and they really start to find that the competition is, all hands on deck, and it starts to get very difficult as the season progresses. So I mean, what's your guys' game plan for what you're willing to release, anyway? So on your game plan moving forward into the 24 hours of Nürburgring, I mean, is it the same kind of routine for you guys, or are you guys, going to debrief, change it up a little bit? I mean, what's your thought process for next month's racing round?
I mean, main goal is to, let's say, stay in that position, allowing all those stints. It's going to be 24 hours, so it's going to be much more difficult. I guess it was, let's say, a warm up for me on my side because it's, as I said, my first race. But yeah, I feel pretty confident. I won't go into the details, but yeah, overall, we're going to go. We're going to try our best and try and do the same as we did as this race. And yeah.
I mean, right now, the way things are sitting after 3 rounds, I guess, what team out there right now are you most concerned about?
What did you say? Sorry.
Which team right now, as the things set in, are you concerned about moving into round number 4?
To be fair, I haven't looked at the leaderboard. But mostly, let's say NWR. I mean, the team that we raced today, at least. We raced the most. Let's say. I don't know what you could had Icon, but I think it's
I
mostly
agree
them.
with you. I agree.
And WR would be our main rival to overall in the every round. So let's aim for even better race and maybe more battles with them because I mean in the stints there's really big gaps, so we can't really battle. It was really in the first stint where I think I was against Lewis, and the gap was really about like 1.5 seconds. It wasn't really changing, but then after stint 2 and 3 the gap are increasing and there's less battles, let's say. So um, hopefully it's going to be more interesting in terms of battling at Nürburgring, but yeah, hopefully it was good to see for you guys casting.
Oh, absolutely. It was great action on the racetrack all across the board here today, whether you were up front or whether you were right in the back. I mean, we saw great battles throughout the whole event. So, I mean, that's the big thing. As long as you guys are having fun out there, too, right? I mean, I understand we're under competition here. It's intense, but you got to have a little bit of fun with it, too, to enjoy it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess
Yep.
anything you guys want to add to a dominant performance here today, and any shout outs you'd like to send out to, your communities or your fans, whatever the case may be.
No, to be fair, just I mean, thanks again for Ovo, and thanks for the organization for the race, and yeah, see you at Nürburgring then.
Absolutely. And anything you'd like to add to that, Icon?
I'm excited for Nürburgring honestly, cause I like the teamwork, and I will be happy to battle again next race.
Absolutely, and there's definitely some teams here that just have had a rough start to the season, I think, and I think once they get dialed in and locked in, I think that we're going to see a good maybe 6 car fight up in the front of these races here moving forward, hopefully. So, congratulations! Absolutely great racing performance from you guys. You're definitely showing why you're leading the championship point standings right now. And well, I mean, the target's on your guys' back, so the pressure's on. And I definitely can't wait to see what you guys bring to us in NERB. You definitely seem like you have a plan. You're cool, calm, collected, and it's looking like the 111 car is the team to beat this year, ladies and gentlemen. So great job at being the round 3 GTEC 2026 winners, and we'll see you in about a month's time.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of notable mentions in here we'll talk to as well. And I think we're going to go to our 303 Porsche first, our FGR team, the Feel Good Racing team here. They had an incredible race here today, and you can't take a lot away from these guys. They were up there battling for the final podium position. Unfortunately for them, they just didn't have the answer for the ERA's team at the end of the day. But, they started near the back of the pack. They moved up, they went back down, and they absolutely just came out of nowhere. And by the end of stint 3, I mean, it looked like they were locking in a podium position. Great fight at the end of that race, but it just wasn't quite enough, and they fell just a little bit short there in 4th place. But I mean, you guys had an incredible drive out there today, and I know if I was in the situation that you guys were in, I'm in your shoes right now, you feel that little bit of disappointment because you just fell a little bit short of that podium here today after you had a good drive. But that's the positive. You had such a good drive. You started off cool, calm, collected, and you just turned up the heat as the race progressed, and you almost got yourself on the podium. So, I mean, talk us through that here today. And I really hope that you all have, are feeling good about how your race went today.
Yeah, first, I mean, that's true that it's a pretty good result considering we started P9, but on the other hand, it was a really difficult race for us because maybe you saw what happened last round for us with the absolutely catastrophic race, and like it almost happened again. Like we had no driver for the last stint basically, so I had to hop in blind. Basically, I had no training, zero track time, and yeah, I'm a bit disappointed because I think we would have been able to go out and take that podium if it wasn't for this. So, of course, a bit disappointed, but that's still, I guess, a good performance considering we started P9. But yeah, I hope we can bring on the other race we can bring back our Daytona pace.
And I mean, every team is going to go through that this season. You're going to definitely have your good weekends on the racetrack, and you're going to have those weekends where it's like, man, we were looking so good pre race. Everything was clicking, everything was working, and what happened? It happens for sure to all the teams out there. You guys aren't going to be the only ones this season that go through that, and some of these teams just haven't faced that, what I like to call adversity at this point. So, I mean, in a sense, you guys have kind of already gotten that part out of the way, right? I mean, you guys have kind of gone through the bad already. It really should just be an uphill for you guys here now. And today, I think, was a sign of that. Like I said, it was a little bit of a disappointing result for you guys just due to logistical reasons, perhaps, maybe behind the scenes. But I still think at the end of the day that there's so much more positive in this race for you guys than there is negative, that you have a really good momentum foundation going into the NERB 24. So, I mean, do you change how you prepare for the NERB 24, or do you just kind of stick to your rhythm and just try to shore up your ranks a little bit to make sure that you have that driver allocation to make things a little bit easier? I mean, what's your guys' plan moving into next month's racing round?
Well, it's sure that we're gonna have a bit of changes for big changes actually for our lineup because we see from the last two races that there are currently some problems with our lineup. Things doesn't work as they should, and that kind of like let us down to what we know we can do because we know we can fight for the top of the pack, and yeah, that's kind of disappointing. So yeah, we're gonna bring big changes for Nürburgring, and hopefully 24-hour race we can do the same as Daytona. We can try to do a podium, maybe even a win. Who knows? Also, Milius is gonna come back, so I hope that's gonna be also very helpful because we know how fast he is, and yeah, that could help with this new lineup. I think we have a good chance at, as you said, improving our results. Every race, and maybe that's gonna be the second step of this uphill.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you guys look so good out there. We were definitely rooting for you in the box there today, and I mean, you know, the number one Porsche, they are the defending champions for a reason. You know, you can never count that esports races Highland team out of these races either. They seem to pull rabbits out of their hats sometimes with that with the ends of these
Yeah.
races. But I also think that they play on really good strategy. I'm fortunate enough to be behind the scenes in the paddock with that team a little bit because I know quite a bit of the drivers on a personal level. And I know that they work really hard, right? They communicate well. You know, they're always transferring information and behind the scenes. And I think obviously, you know, they've got what happens pre-race really figured out. And I think that's a big part of it too, right? So they've got lots of experience under their belt in this situation, and that does show a little bit here on the
Yeah.
racetracks. You know, for some of the teams that are just coming in, getting their feet wet, checking it out at this incredible pace that you guys are racing at. You know, there's a learning curve there, even for you guys at the skill level you guys are at, and now that we're 3 rounds through the season, you guys, like I said, you know, you've taken a look at the stuff. You've debriefed kind of what's happened over the last 3 racing rounds, and now you can kind of pick out those weaknesses, strengthen those up a little bit, and hopefully, you know, that makes the changes that these the teams that have been struggling early on in the season need for the last half of the season. And statistically, we see teams really start to turn up the heat in the last half of the season that seem to have been struggling in the early part of the season. You're on that trend, so live off the momentum, build off of it, and definitely take it into Nuremberg. I think you guys have something cooking there for sure. But I mean, you know, just talk us through it and how anything else you want to toss out there, and any shout outs you'd like to toss out as well to, you know, your own communities, family, friends, etc.
Um, yeah, I don't know what else I can add except yeah, we're looking forward for the next part of the season and hopefully bring in even better results. And yeah, again, kudos to FGR Milius for carrying the team. And yeah, that's it for me.
Well, we definitely appreciate you stopping in. We always like to have a chat with all the teams. You know, not every team necessarily makes the podium throughout the season. Sometimes some of them fall a little bit short and just never touch that. So we do like to talk to as many of the teams as we can. So it's nice to have the notable mentions come in this season as well. It's the first time we've had outside of podium drivers come in. It's nice to talk to you guys, get to know you guys a little bit better. It's nice for our viewers to kind of, you know, get to know you guys a little bit better as well. So appreciate you coming in, taking a little bit of time to talk with us, and really looking forward to seeing what that 303 Porsche has for us at the NERP 24. All right, one more notable mention, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a team that's no stranger to talking to us. They were in this podium interview box quite a bit last year, and again, a tough start for this team this year. This was what was our Sector 7 esports racing team last season. They fell a little bit short from the championship title this season. They had some struggles with technical difficulties, malfunctions, disconnecting from lobbies, and that really hurt their season. It's better this season for them, but unfortunately, again, today they had the pace to be up there and compete at the front. I think that if they didn't have that stint to technical malfunction here today in the number 7 car, I think they were definitely a contender for that top 3, potentially even a race win here as well. You know, notable mention Jish behind the wheel in stint number 1 there really was putting the pressure on the whole field. I mean, these guys, when they hit the racetrack, it is all business. There is no game. There is no play here. It is all business, the Sector 7 team. And they showed that again today. They have had it tough last season. They've started off a little tough again this season, but there is no quit in this Sector 7 Blazer team this season, just like our their esports partners last season. I mean, tough day for you guys out there today. You gave it everything you had, and being 3 minutes behind, you know, we didn't see you guys give up. We see you guys, if anything, try to get faster and try to pick up as many positions as you can. And it was a tough climb, but managing to get yourself back up into the top half of the field here today, how are you guys feeling about that after that very tough stint too?
I think coming away from this round, we can look at more positives than negatives, which is it's a nice change of pace compared to what we had to think about previously. And yeah, you know, Jish was really ripping it up out there. He put a dent in the field. He managed to finish that first stint leading, which was a really positive boost to morale. And you know, after that, just like how every round this season seems to be going, it just goes downhill after a positive start. So you know, we've been having some, I won't just say technical issues, I would say availability issues from our drivers as well. Has been a bit of a ongoing theme recently. And it is what it is. It's a bit unfortunate because we know what we're capable of. We have a very high talent ceiling. You know, everyone wants to play their part. You know, everyone has the pace to put the laps down, put in the time and effort when need be. It's just trying to get them all coordinated so that we can show up come race day. So, you know, it's a question of what if for today in particular. Geesh obviously put on a very strong start. Stint 2, we didn't have anyone to cover off Twitchy. Fortunately, he had some commitments at the last moment that meant that he couldn't come in, and we didn't have anyone there to help him out. And yeah, after that 3.5 minute penalty, I just had to come in and try and pick up the pieces. I managed to get us back from last place and the jaws of like absolute defeat and a wash this time around into, what was it, P7? P8, somewhere like that?
It might have even been P6, actually.
Hmm.
P6 or 7, I can't quite remember, yeah. It's right there, for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, give a bit of a buffer to Pole Sitter to take over for the final stint. But yeah, Pole Sitter was having a bit of a rough time with some of the other drivers in the field, not quite giving him the room to put some laps down, you know, to get nice and consistent. So that's where we kind of missed out on P7, or at least an opportunity to fight for P7 in the end. But hey, you know, he did his job. I did my job, and so did Geesh. And I think we can stand proud today that we did all we could.
I agree to that. I mean, you guys, like I said, you guys don't have any quit in you. I mean, we've seen you guys face some crazy adversity over last season and early into this season. I mean, you guys just come back in and you just absolutely put it down to the pedal. If anything, you just seem to find a half a second faster and try to make up that time. I mean, you're not wrong when you say that your talent ceiling is very high. I definitely agree with that. But I mean, you know, that's the form of a good team in the making. That's a form of a good group. That's, you know, just missing a little bit of that that meshing, that gelling, right? I think you guys are right on the tip of it. And I think, honestly, really, if you guys could just get away from missing that stint or having that DC in that one stint in these races, I think it's a game changer for you guys. And that's your turnaround to go uphill as well, like we were talking about with FGR, you know. We know that you guys have the talent. We know that you guys can push the front of the field in this championship series. And just falling short last year, I can feel the fire in your guys' bellies that you want to get that chance back. So, I mean, I don't doubt for a second that you guys are going to definitely get behind the scenes over the next few weeks and figure out those logistics that need to be figured out. And you know, again, like the FGR and every other team, you gotta work on the negatives and turn them into positives and try not to make those same mistakes. But you know, we also know that the N24 race isn't going to be a slouch of a race. There's going to be that random weather factored in, so rain is always a potential at the NERB. And over 24 hours, I mean, it's a grueling, long, arduous race. We are going to expect to see it space out at times. And with the new tire allocations this season, do you think that that's going to make that race much more difficult, or do you think it's going to make it much more interesting?
Look, when we talk about tire allocations, I think it's a nice mechanic that's been added for the season. You know, respect to the organization for putting some thought into it and really making people have to second guess what they need to do. But if I'm being honest, I think it's a bit more of it comes to a bit more of a detriment because we only have at most 14 teams on a track. It's a
Yes.
very large track, and you know, as is, you know, there may be some mistakes, there may be a mishap here or there. And there's also some differences in pace and whatnot, and balance of performance between cars. So the differences are already noticeable as is, and adding that tire allocation, I don't want to say it's always a bad thing. You know, it makes it interesting, but if in my opinion, we need people to be close. We need people to be at least on the same sort of plan so that they can duke it out on track. You know, I understand that races are won with strategy, off track with race engineers and, you know, management looking into the details. But the more battles we have on track, the more people fight each other for a position, you know, and the more equal footing that they have in situations like that, I think would benefit us all you know, from an entertainment standpoint and also from an enjoyability factor, because at the end of the day, I could be on mediums or on hards specifically. Someone could be on softs. I can do everything in my power to try and hold them back, but it takes maybe 1 to 2 corners and they're long gone. And it does have a bit of a mental impact on how you go about your race after moments like that, and you think, okay, well, that's it. He's gone. He's on softs. I'm on hards. I can give it everything, but if I don't have any other hards to use, then I'm kind of have to sit there wondering when the race is going to finish.
And
Again,
I mean,
I don't want to put this down, but
for
I think
sure.
that's something that needs to be considered.
I mean, honest feedback is also important, right? I mean, that's how championships are built, designed, and tweaked as seasons go on. Is from that feedback, right? So it's always important, and I mean, it's very constructive feedback as well, which is always important as well. But I was just going to touch base on that. My next question was actually going to be, because you guys were not in the second stint, you guys essentially kind of gained a tire advantage moving into the last half of the race, because you were able to kind of change your tire strategy to where you didn't really need to use that hard compounded tire now, because you've got these extra set of tires. So do you think that burning off all your soft tires before the final stint helped, or do you think that maybe that slightly hurt you guys as well?
I think it lent well towards the capabilities of each driver. So, for example, Jish and myself, we race we're known to race at a very high level outside of this championship and GT World Series official seasons and leagues and whatnot. And we just tried to utilize the softs as much as possible to get as big of an advantage as we can, to really try and just at least have a consistent time. Pole sitter, he's a controller. No disrespect to him, but there are times when there is time being left on the table. So he was comfortable with the mediums. He was consistent with the mediums, and all things considered, he did a very decent job on the medium. So today, despite the problem that we had with stint 2, we made the right choice. I believe anyway. That's something that we can discuss further in the debrief with internally inside the team. But
of course.
Yeah, I will mention that if there was some people could have played their cards right today with all 4 stints and not had to touch the hards either, because there is a situation or a scenario where 2 stints can use 2 sets of soft tires. Then the remaining 2 stints can use 1 set of soft tires and 1 set of mediums. It will be a bit of a touch and go for those double stint softs runs, but it's possible, and you don't lose too much time managing those.
And we did see that from a couple of the drivers and a couple of the teams today. We did see that very, very long stretch out on the soft tires. So you're definitely 100% on that assessment that it was most certainly possible. So, I mean, it's still early in the season too as well. Everybody's, at this point, I would say, just now getting into the rhythm of the championship season, the way it works, the rule sets, everything that goes on around it. So I think now that we hit the big race, the mid-season race with the N24, not quite mid-season, I guess, round 4, everybody loves the track. The viewers definitely love the track, and most of the racers love the track. So I think round 4 is really where the season truly begins here for IRO, and I think that you guys are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the N24. I mean, you guys are always a force to be reckoned with, but I really do feel that number 7 car has a dominant performance coming out of it very, very soon. So hopefully it's next month's round for you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I thank you for the sentiment. I do believe that there is some stuff that we need to address internally at Blazers, S7R Blazers, because some of the stuff that has happened so far could have been avoided, and the sooner we get onto working and figuring that out and focusing on the next couple of rounds, I think the quicker we will get a nice boost to morale. We can have a renewed interest in this championship and attack it with everything we've got.
Absolutely, and I mean, it just takes a little bit of momentum to swing your way is all it really takes, right? So that's all you got to do is just find that extra little bit of momentum, and you guys are going to be cooking. I know it. So, I mean, a tough race out there for you today, but again, a really good comeback drive. I can't help but feel if you had a couple more hours or a couple more stints, if this was a 12-hour race, you probably might have had enough room there to maybe squeeze a couple more positions out, but nonetheless, starting way at the back of the pack, coming into the halfway point of the race, drive yourself back up to the top half of the pack. I don't think is anything to shake a stick at, even considering the situation. And overall, I still think that you guys had a good comeback drive. So, congratulations on a tough comeback drive race finish, I suppose. And I know you guys will be back strong in the next race, and we always hope to see that. Those technical malfunctions just stay away from you guys and get you guys a full racing, because I know you're going to be there in that conversation in the top of the ranks for sure. So appreciate you coming in and talking to us. I mean, we always appreciate the honesty and the feedback, especially from our really serious drivers here in the Gran Turismo circuit. These guys know the game. They know the game well. They understand everything, the cars, the physics, everything really well. So hearing it come from you guys, the feedback coming from you guys is really important. And we appreciate you guys taking the time to be here and racing the GTEC this season. So thank you, and I can't wait to see what you guys bring for us at N24.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words, and I'm glad that you guys are open to feedback. Just if we say something like put on weak slipstream and turn on boost, feel free to ignore us a bit.
Well, that would make things interesting, that's for sure. But
for sure.
I don't think the committee would. I think that takes away from the realism a little bit there. So, but I mean, Cody from Sector 7 Racing, ladies and gentlemen, you all know who they are. You had lots of fans in the chat while you were on track there today. So, I mean, great racing out there from you guys in a tough situation. And like I said, we look forward to seeing you in about 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Looking forward to it also. Have a nice one.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that is all the notable mentions. And you know what? Like I said, we love talking to other racers outside the podium. They always have a different point of view of things. The drivers that are in the mid pack and sometimes in the back of the pack, the drivers that have had the rough starts and are trying to have good race finishes, like Sector 7 today, like the FGR team today, having really good comeback drives. The AMS team was having an incredible drive up through the field until their unfortunate incident at the end of the race. It's all in how you take that, handle it, and put it into perspective and come back in the next racing round. So, Sector 7 is a very, very strong team. They always have been, and I don't doubt for a second that they're going to get this figured out. They chased the championship last year, and I don't doubt for a second by the end of the season they're back in that conversation again. So competition is tough this year, and at the end of the day, we can't deny that every racer on the racetrack deserves to be here in Split 1. They've earned their right to be here, and as teams start to shore up the ranks and fill in weak spots, we're only going to see that talent continue to increase here, I think. So we are really in for a treat for the last 6 rounds of racing here at IRO, and all I can do is say buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure those racing harnesses, those 5-point clickers are all nice and tight, because we're going for a ride here at the International Racing Organization. And as far as I'm concerned, the season starts next racing round with the N24 of Nürburgring, and I can't wait to see you all there, live on the IRO YouTube channel. I am GT45 Gaming. Thank you all for your time, your patience, and your viewership here today. Thank you to the IRO team. Thank you to the racers and the teams behind the scenes, everybody that makes this thing move. Absolutely great racing weekend. We love you all. You all matter. And stay winning. We'll catch you all on the next one.
It's time to end the show. The stream is over, I got to go. Now is not the time to be sad. I'll be back, there's more streaming to be had. GT45 will bring the best with an entertainment fest, where friends are made and good times never fade. Soon it will be time again to kick the tires and light the fires and stay winning. Hey winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning.